Ah, hello everybody. Why does it always pick the sad songs? Something happier. That's a little bit. I swear, whenever I let the music just do what it wants, it always picks something sad. It never randomly picks a nice, happy. But, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Wherever you are. Hope you're having a good day. I am realizing that my model is not fully loaded, and I'm gonna open it. One sec. Hello, Arsham. It's so weird being on YouTube again after a week of Twitch. I'm just getting so used to streaming on Twitch that I get on YouTube and again it's like, oh yeah, this is totally different. There we go. Got that loaded up. Let's switch to the view. Come on, where am I? Where am I? There we go. Hello. But yeah, it's the end of this visual novel. We're going to be finishing it today. It's going to be the end of YouTube streams for a little bit for me. It's funny because it looks like Twitch is doing some scary things when it comes to streaming. Although, as much for current partners, they might be a negative thing. For people like me, the lack of exclusivity and stuff like that is kind of a thing. But, I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, the changes that Twitch is planning to make. And then, YouTube has been claiming for like 2 years they're gonna make changes for streamers. And the only one I can remember that's actually happened is clips. And the clips were meh. I don't know anyone that really uses YouTube clips. And they're not very visible. And I don't know. I just don't think it was very well done. But we'll see what happens with platforms. But after today's stream, I will be on Twitch primarily. So anyone who drops in to watch my YouTube, or if you're watching VODs, you want to see me live, I'll be on Twitch. I will be trying to post VODs and stuff of important things. I'm not going to post every single VOD up on the channel. Like, I haven't been posting my Genshin stuff, just I mess around too much, it'd be too much editing. Slim it down to just the story. But it is there on Twitch. Who knows, maybe eventually I'll slim them down, or I can upload them hidden. They could be hidden videos and then just have them in a playlist. Kinda like I did with my rating. But let's get the display caption. As usual, here's what I'm using to do this visual novel. It is a fan translation. Original was done by ZKLM, and the translations were updated by a ton of people. Although this, specifically this GitHub is on Deliala's account. But we are doing the last 5. And Sakran has been leaving some comments on the VODs and told me that the last 2 chapters are the longest. Which is why there's only 5 chapters today. We did 7 last week. I did it this way because I'm assuming them being longer means that this will give us roughly the same length of video as the previous ones. We'll see. But when we left off, we had collected the rest of the gems, and Bianca is now having a completed Durandal. And they came up with the plan because this is a bubble universe, and this universe doesn't work like a normal world, it looks like a normal world, but it isn't actually a normal world. They are literally going to just cut off the part of the world that is infected with Honkai and completely get rid of it. And just have the world repair itself from there. Because it's, again, not a real physical world. The world of a bunch of stitched together memories and possibilities. It's probably the simplest I can put it. Let's stop my music. Who knows how long it'll take for music to start playing on here. Usually takes a bit to load. But God, it's been a while. We've gone through so much. It's been like a month, right? Because we've been doing this. This is the 5th month. It's been over a month since we started. But yeah, we finished it, and then we did have a bit of a lesson about what the plan was. I think that's what this scene was from. Yeah, destroy the world itself. And then Bianca, who had saved. Did she show here? Where was it? I don't think it shows. But Samurai Lady, who had one of the gems, was crystallized, and Bianca saved her. And Bianca ended up in a coma for a bit. She was resting in a bed with Rita watching over her, because she soaked up a bunch of Honkai energy. And as we've learned in this week, apparently, so this has been knowledge for a while that I didn't know about. But I also learned it in chapter 28, I think it was, 27 or 28. We learned that Bianca, if she absorbs Honkai energy, so long as it's not enough to beat her, like as long as she survives it, her resistance just goes up. The more Honkai energy she's exposed to, the more resistant she becomes to it. Because of the changes to her that Otto's surgery did to her. Is interesting. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to start it right at chapter 28. Just because when I was looking for this thumbnail, I might not have reset the right chapter. But oh, I just noticed the volume was turned down, but I might have to do it anyway. I'll turn it up a little bit. I'll adjust the volume as needed. The music in this thing is usually blasting my ears. I'll try to save yours. I'm probably gonna suffer regardless, though. But let's see. It's the end of the visual novel, chapter 28, part 1. Actually, let me make sure I put out all my announcements. I have not. Oh my gosh, it's doing the wrong thumbnail still. Oh well. Is it doing the wrong one? Yeah, it did the wrong one there too. I really hate that Discord doesn't update its thumbnail at all, even if you tell it to, or try to tell it to. Grr. That's what happens when I forget to upload my freaking thumbnail. Okay, here we go. The Holy Sword has been integrated. It seems like the captain and the others have used the ether anchor to transfer a designated location. Transfer to a designated location in the North Atlantic. Lord Richthfen. Yes. You and Mr. Watt go warm up the aircraft. Make sure that it can take off at any time in case of an emergency. Understood. Got it! I still had a stutter to him because of the beginning. Alice. Waiting for your orders. Allocate 1/10 of your computing resources to secretly distribute supplies to civilians. Remember that in name, you are my hostage. You have to hide the function that says you're being controlled by me. They're pretending she's a hostage. Okay. Got it. Neith, go help her. The ordinary citizens must be made aware that Alice is on their side. No problem. And, Your Excellency, President Shelley. Is it my turn to play? That's right. You will be secretly released by one of Alice's robots, and when the time is right, lead everyone to unite against me. Why are they doing it like this? Seems so weird. Piece of cake. Not the first time I've done something like this. But if you can't run away on time, don't blame me. I'll keep that in mind. So, Thales, are you really planning on running away with me? Even though we will have to cross the desert to find a usable anchor exit. Huh? Curator, you're still talking about that? If you wanted to do such an important job, how could it be done without one or two accomplices? Are you really abusing your temporary chairwoman position right now? Ordering the city to enter a state emergency, suppressing the former rulers and their executors, and then putting robots to maintain order. Are you really reluctant to let me take part in such an interesting thing to the end? And from a conspiracy theory viewpoint, didn't you get the power you have now because of the case I reported? This girl is just weaving a conspiracy theory as she goes. Are you thinking clearly? If you do this, you won't be able to return to the city ever again. I'm a spy from a country on the other side of the endless waves. I painfully sneaked into the big library and climbed all the way to this position just to steal your unique satellite system. I'm aware that this is a special action in a special era. Because of that, I have to put on this farce with you to the end. An era of farce should end with a farce. Curator, with all due respect, it's precisely because you're such a troublesome person that I have to accompany you with this farce to the end. Use the satellites to monitor the structure of the bubble universe, command the Holy Sword, and then cut the contaminated European continent out of the bubble universe. Such an exciting plan, coupled with your heart's struggles over the contradicting values. And you have the heart to tell me to just be a spectator. As a philosopher, do you think I could do that? I wish I knew more about these characters, like the real life people. Because it would probably make this more interesting. I know most of them, but like Thales I don't know much about. Everyone says this is an earth-shaking plan. So I didn't expect that after using the anchor point from Chile to come to the North Sea, we would still be at the sidelines. How should I put it? I always feel like everyone is treating me like a thistle palm. That's because everyone has a different role. The so-called final drama naturally happens before the final encore. Make full use of the satellites to observe in real time the folded space. Prepare the giant artillery arrays to explode the cut fragments of the world. Arrange ground troops to deal with any possible secondary disaster. All of that can be accomplished in half a day, but it's only possible because you can make the irreplaceable final stretch. Unlike the rash me from before. Didn't you question me before about how as soon as I talk about my past, I start to stagger? Although the story of how I picked up the Holy Sword in the submarine is true, I only briefly mentioned the black history between those two times once. Why do I feel like your past is a collection of black histories? It would be a bit mean to joke about the people who founded the King's Men. Just kidding. About myself. As you know, I'm the reason why everyone in the Caledonia crossed all over the world. Huh? Are you saying you broke the Holy Sword yourself? Trying unknown things can indeed lead to unexpected results. That's true. However, if someone knows there's no way to force it, and will take several years to recover it, she must be a fool. Captain, are you talking about yourself? Among the people you know, is there someone else that fits the description? You know, at the time when I picked up that sword, it gave me this evaluation. You are the most self-reliant girl I've met in tens of thousands of years. What the hell? After thinking about it, it must have meant, although I wanted to be its owner, I can't provide the extra energy needed to handle the complications that would come with using it. But as you also know, the sword has a character that can't understand many things. Which is why we tried that at the time. Strictly speaking, it was impossible to succeed. The result is as you can see. The Holy Sword got torn apart, and even lost the memory of the event. And in order to find its fragments and repair it, I spent over 20 years. For me, it was obviously self-inflicted, but the world lost 20 years it could have dealt the wall. In fact, had I not met with Dr. Schrödinger, I wouldn't have even known the fact that finding the Gem of Courage equals a 99% chance of success. If it weren't for her, I'd just be searching for them like a drunk fly. You and I wouldn't even be standing side by side by now. And of course, life is full of coincidences. When we finally found the Gem of Courage, and the next stage of the longsword hunt was about to start, we happened to meet you. Or rather, someone used radio waves to predict your appearance to us. At the time, we didn't know who the other party was. What's amazing is, it was extremely accurate prediction. They calculated your time and place of landing, as well as your Honkai adaptability very accurately. Were they speaking with Otto? Did Otto communicate to this bubble universe before sending them? After thinking about it, maybe they actually wanted to contact you directly, but because of the distance, they instead guided the captain, who was hiding behind the curtains. Who, relatively speaking, can go anywhere. Oh, nope, apparently it was thorough. Oops, I was seen through. Chairwoman? As I said before, the Republic has firmly controlled the Anchor for over half a century. It's still useful despite its decline. You should have also learned from Sanada Yukimura's case that theoretically, the Anchor can monitor intense energy fluctuations anywhere in the world, except inside the wall. Therefore, you should be able to deduce that, based on data, testimonies, and legends from long ago, we inferred what happened to Captain Shakespeare and based the premise that she managed to repair the Holy Sword. We created the combat plan we are implementing today. Sheesh, they planned ahead. No way. Did you think that Operation Pachaktik was just the guess of a politician and some combat staff? Indeed, we didn't prepare any surprise weapons. In fact, it was your appearance that helped us greatly reduce the number of Star Whisperers that would have to be sacrificed. However, at the same time, we sent the infiltration experts to seize control of Alexandria's satellite system to provide navigation support for the world-cutting operation of the bubble. That is by no means something that can be done overnight. We respect everyone's subjective opinions. Because of that, I chose to only provide you with the information I was 100% sure of. Don't you think it was too little? I admit that. But don't do to others what wouldn't want them to do to you is also my consistent style of doing things. I always believed that the old people don't have any important advice that needs to be given to young people. The vast majority of old people just carry a variety of fragmented experience. Their lives are often miserable failures. They only know that their past actions are full of mistakes, but not the true right path. All lives can be considered an experiment, but everyone can only experience a small part of it. So even if we have over 100 years of mistakes to look back to, there's still thousands of unknown traps lurking in the future. So if you already know that the so-called present is just the intersection of the past and the future, everyone is just standing on a new starting point. Then the trajectory between people will naturally link our destinies together. This is the so-called developmental vision. When it comes to changing the world, you can think of us as just needed logistics personnel. Even if to me this matter is only a challenge, but to you it will determine the fate of the world. Yes, to put it bluntly, I think it's better if people with the label of savior live more freely. Remember what Confucius said? At 15 I set my heart upon learning. At 30 I had planted my feet firm upon the ground. At 40 I no longer suffered perplexity. At 50 I know what were the biddings of heaven. At 60 I heard them with docile ear. At 70 I could follow the dictates of my own heart, for what I desired no longer overstepped the boundaries of right. According to my understanding, what he really wanted to teach is, a person who does not have spiritual freedom does not have the elegance and power needed to stand upright. It's almost time, Bianca. Recite to me one more time what you're about to do. Yes. No, we don't get to hear it. The sky is an abyss of light. While the ocean swallows everything, the sky releases everything. The universe expands, the quantum fluctuates. The two lonely gods facing each other are eager for a brilliant new sunrise. Konatia, carrying also here the blood of the gods. The holy sword was silent. It had turned off the anthropomorphic function and was busy simulating the final iteration of the plan. Check. Volume. A little loud. Turn that down for you guys a bit. Take care, Bianca. Thank you. I'll be back before you know it. Oh. Let's go, Durandal. Oh, she's flying. The heck? You know, she does this in the game, in the story, and I never really questioned it. But I guess that's just one of her abilities. She literally can just fly. Okay. Valkyrie jumped down directly above the entrance to the anchor point. The strong wind blows. The power of the Holy Sword gradually merges with her, becoming one. The eternal wall of energy undulating in the abyss, with the twilight noon and the dawn of midnight. Let me turn this down for you guys a little more. Jesus. Oh, I should use this as the thumbnail. I like this one better. I didn't see it though, so oh well. Like diving, the inertia of freefall pushed the Valkyrie into the gap between light and darkness. The Holy Sword released a calm light in the darkness. Following the guidance of the radio waves from distant deep space, Bianca Atagina reached the predetermined attack position. Oh, goodbye music, I guess. Alright, let's start now. The energy was released in an instant, the Valkyrie and the Holy Sword becoming a hurricane of light. The roots of space, like the thorns Sleeping Beauty were mercilessly cut off by the fire. At the core of the anchor point, the spaces of different dimensions were originally intertwined in a disorderly manner, like tangled weeds. However, wherever the holy sword burned, the world's surface became as smooth as a mirror. Fractals. How many dizzying spaces had she gone through? How many times had she broken the suffocating dimension break barrier? The Honkai energy in her body seemed to boil in her blood vessels. It rushed to the tip of the deadly weapon in her hand. She knew she could do it. She knew she had to hold on. And when time seemed to have frozen, a starry sky oddly expanded in the distance. The music changes are so jarring. At least this one doesn't hurt my ears. This is the horizon of the bubble universe. This is the boundary of all the distorted dimensions, as well as the background texture of the microverse. The Valkyrie, who was losing her strength, gritted her teeth and smiled, knowing the cutting operation was completed. It's time to inform the people of the surface to let them execute the devastating blow. Attention all units, HQ has received the Valkyrie's signal. I repeat, attention all units, HQ has received the Valkyrie's signal. The train cannon array enters zero-level deployment state. Calibrate the unit's aim according to the latest signal. Be ready to fire at any time. 10, 9, 8... Oh gosh, it's going through different characters, dang it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Target in sight. Fire. The beast which you saw once was, now is not, and yet will come up out of the abyss and go to its destruction. The inhabitants of the earth whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world will be astonished when they see the beast. Because it once was, now is not, and yet will come. What is this a quote from? Because... oh, I think I know. They will wage war against the Lamb. The Lamb will triumph over them, because he is Lord of Lords, King of Kings. And with him will be his called, chosen and faithful followers. I saw heaven standing open, and there before me was a white horse, whose rider is called Faithful and True. With justice he judges and wages war. His eyes are like blazing fire, and on his head are many crowns. He has a name written on him that no one knows but he himself. I'm kind of curious, but I don't think it's going to let me highlight this, because it won't let me highlight the text. Oh well. He is dressed in a robe dipped in blood, and his name is the Word of God. Whoop. Change. Relaxation. Jeez, this is chapter 28. What's happening in the next 4 chapters? I thought this would be like one of the later ones. What are we going to? A midday starry sky. Did we succeed? I don't know. However, there's been no deviation from the plan until now. Click. Miss Rita, this is HQ. Have you caught Miss Bianca? How is she doing? This is Rita reporting to HQ. Miss Bianca has safely landed, and nothing has happened. Very good. She should be physically exhausted now, so take care of her. The 4/5 of the still intact world began to rearrange under the people's feet. The 1/5 that was once called Europe was shredded by the Holy Sword and further disintegrated by the fierce artillery fire. Everything was going well and seemed to be under control, until a strange monster landed on the surface of Earth. Oh boy. Wait. That looks like Honkai, but also looks like a gate. What in the world is that? Is this like a Honkai Stargate? Do they travel the Sea of Quanta using these? Oh boy. Well, I guess that answers what's happening for the next few chapters. Something they didn't see coming. Oh boy. Chapter 29. Everyone abandons their past in the process of their lives. As we grow older, we gradually leave our mother's womb and breasts, the warm and comfortable cradle, leave the place where we were raised, and eventually we become a person with no semblance of our past selves. Shimotsuki 27th, 13th of the Portuguese month, 13th of the month, 18th and 19th of Brumaire. Thank you. Oh, it is? Okay. God, I love this song. I love classical. I grew up listening to classical piano stuff. Love it. It was this series of betrayals that made the man named Napoleon Bonaparte finally become the version written in. He had long gotten accustomed to being betrayed and was even proud of it. You guys can probably barely hear the background. It's really quiet even. No matter what the situation is, as long as there was a chance for a comeback, he would definitely continue to move forward. The word failure was never in the dictionary. In previous wars, limited by equipment, supplies, morale, and luck, he also had to helplessly surrender and was afraid that a comeback would not be possible. However, all of that to this day is nothing more than history he has long trampled on. He was defeated by the Russian General Winter, and the enemy's coalition commander drove straight and directly occupied. But in the blink of an eye, he sneaked out of Elba Island and went back to his homeland, with all of Bourbon's army turning to his side. However, the subsequent Battle of Waterloo brought the 100 Days to a hasty end. He was punished with exile for the second time, and now the distant South Atlantic Ocean. But just when everyone thought the Emperor's life would not bring any new upheaval, he who was in his twilight years was involved in experiments of the snake, and sent to another world by mistake, he regained his throne. However, in his life that should have been smooth sailing was corrupted by greed. In order to permanently master this mighty power, he tried to activate the ancient civilization's device to control this microverse, therefore turning all of his subjects into inhuman existences. But even so, the Emperor did not give up. After a brief period of grief, he realized that this was just the beginning of a greater journey. He and his surviving subjects had just transformed from a life form that consumes chemical energy to another life form that consumes Honkai energy. The position of Emperor remained solid. The Empire's military power was better than ever. After a brief dispute, the subjects of today became single-hearted, with a sincerity more enthusiastic and majestic than the previous era of hymns. Although the new subjects needed a wall to gradually transform the land under their feet, to the Emperor, this slow but sure expansion brought a different kind of calmness. Which is why, currently, the Emperor can be said to be extremely angry. He originally thought that, as the world gradually turned into one more suitable for his people's lives, his enemies would only become weaker and less aggressive. However, those ants that only stay in their nests, the Durandal-like mobs, the stupid humans incapable of accepting the new form of life, jeez. He's like a worse version of Mobius. He just wanted everyone to become Honkai life forms. They were able to disintegrate part of the world. They were able to destroy the sacred and energy-filled territory of his empire. They were able to push the Emperor into despair without losing a single soldier. But that did not waver the Emperor. He had lived for so long that this was just a new form of despair. The enemy seemed to believe that the foundation of the Empire's existence was its sacred territory. Without a land, a country cannot exist. Usually, that would be true. However, thanks to the barrier of the wall, they could not infer that. The Emperor and his subjects had already become inseparable, and even if they were scattered in the void, there is still a way to preserve the core function. The Empire was built upon the principle of the new life. It would eventually break out of its cocoon and become a butterfly, breaking through the cage called the world. There will be no disease, no discrimination, no poverty, no death. And after that, an absolute understanding and absolute freedom. As far as we know, this is basically what Kevin's trying to do. This is Project Stigma. Turning people into a Honkai life form that can survive and coexist with Honkai. They will reach the resurrection promised by the prophet to the people, and they will bring judgment to all lower life forms. You're right. As of now, it is a creature that is both the Emperor and his subject. The only thing it did not understand is why this blazing power, until today, had not been inherited and carried forward by anyone. After all, the source of this power was not Napoleon Bonaparte or any wise man from his era. This power originated from a secret from tens of thousands of years in the past. It is like a rising sun in the eclipse, unfortunately dying before it could give off light. However, it had to wait for nightfall before it could shine majestically on the other side of the shore. Ooh. Honkai tentacle? Blood? It discarded all forms of impurity, leaving only the strongest, simplest, and most original part of life. No language, no beauty, just its existence was a symbol of truth. This is undoubtedly the ultimate life form. Those who try to kill it in the cradle will only be humiliated in the face of this force. You know, that's a weird way to think of it, but this almost makes it sound like Honkai is like a parasitic life form. Like Honkai energy maybe is just the base material of this almost parasite that's trying to eat at the tree in the world. We still don't really know what Honkai is, so who knows? What's more, the opponent's formation was too dependent on the tunnels of his world. In the eyes of the Emperor, the opponent had lost from the start. Whoa. Rip my ear. The smell of blood was permeating the battlefield. The soldiers' bodies filled every nearby gully like sandbags being piled to prevent a flood. However, the temporary commander-in-chief was unable to order a retreat. The enemy landed from the sky, occupying the main entrance to the anchor point, cutting off everyone's retreat. Therefore, as long as these commanders did not plan on leaving their soldiers to escape first, they must choose for everyone, including themselves, to either charge at the enemy or wait to die. The enemy is firmly on their throats. The passage of the anchor point is easy to defend, but difficult to attack. Bringing troops from the other side of the bubbly universe only caused them to be wiped out by this weird enemy before them. They can even get them through formation. At this moment, on this North Sea island, they can only fight alone. At first, when the gate-shaped monster appeared on the starry sky, soldiers were optimistic that it was just some kind of residue from cutting the world. It might be a leftover mechanical device, or an enemy that is only strong in groups. However, when neither the interception nor the bombardment worked, the enemy landed at the entrance to the anchor point, like a city atop a mountain, and extended its countless tentacles. Everyone understood that what was standing before them was by no means an ordinary existence. Oh. The soldiers of the Republic fought bravely. They fought as hard as they could, just to buy time for their companions. Newlyweds, new parents, only children, young people. The corpse stranded on the island followed that order, using the channels still under their control to evacuate their comrades one by one. If you compare the information flux, the bandwidth of this alternate anchor channel is only 1,000 of the main channel. That means that for every hour that the soldiers persist on the front line, only 20 people can successfully retreat. And today, in order to perfectly implement the plan of cutting the bubble universe on the small North Sea island, nearly 3,000 of the most elite warriors of the Republic have gathered. That is to say, even if the frontline soldiers can continue to support them, it would still take them a week to be completely evacuated from the island. Of course, they also have the Caledonia that can traverse this world's unique underwater gusts and waves. But even this means the full capacity can only transfer 50 lucky people for 2 days. Bianca and the Holy Sword have consumed too much energy in the previous operation. Even with Rita's care, she seems unable to wake up in short time. The Star Whisperers under your command, even the crew of the Caledonia who think they can survive on the battlefield, have already rushed to the front line. Every one of them is brave, but they should know it best. They are fighting a losing battle. So what? If you have an idea that can change the situation around, don't be afraid. Tell it to me now. I think if things I consulted with Dr. Schrödinger 10 days ago are indeed true, then I have a way to kill that gate. But I need you to order everyone to leave the battlefield. Did you say, retreat the battlefield? Are you crazy? We are now fighting each other. Where do you want me to retreat to? What kind of crazy powers does she have? Do you want me to abandon the only defensive position and retreat directly to headquarters? This is military suicide, you know. The heck is she? Don't panic, Wallachian. The chairwoman ordered you to retreat for a reason, because now I will be responsible for destroying this enemy. You, an archaeologist. I think she's a little more than archaeologist. Did you convince her by changing your clothes a little? What on earth are you going to do? First of all, I want to apologize to you, because the name Napoleon I have been using in front of you is actually just borrowed from a compatriot of a younger generation. Who is she? I haven't recognized her from a... I don't think I've recognized her from a Stigmata set. Let me introduce myself again, strong warriors and brave soldiers. Oh my god. My name is Napoleon, and my surname is Bonaparte. I am from Corsica. So this is another universe's version of Napoleon. Okay, didn't see that coming. This is like a Star Whisperer version of Napoleon. Oh. Oh. I am not an ordinary Star Whisperer. I am the life of the ordinary people that was discarded by the monster in front of you when he was 25 years old. So his humanity. He became a monster, and the Ether Anchor rescued his humanity and made it into a separate person. Crazy. What are these Ether Anchors? Like, are they natural? Or are they something created by some previous era, some previous civilization? Because you're basically saying that a tyrant decided to give up on humanity and sacrifice his people, and this Ether Anchor created a superhuman out of what remained of his sacrifice. What the hell? I am the first and the source of the countless betrayals that it has long forgotten. After borrowing the spare channel and adjusting myself with the anchor point, I have returned to the original state from when I was abandoned by this monster, and have deliberately reversed the imaginary polarity of my body structure. Oh, you're gonna run into him and cancel him out. Put it simply, at this moment, the monster in front of you can't hurt me at all. But I can completely destroy it with a single touch, yeah. She's gonna cancel them both out if they come together. That's... If there was such a convenient way, why are you only doing this now? Because it costs her life. Do you know how many people we've sacrificed? I'm sorry. I let everyone suffer such great sacrifices here. I am really sorry. But no matter what the purpose is, if one wants to take initiative, give up on their life, they will still struggle to prepare their heart for that. Are you going to die together with it? She's going to cancel them both out. They're two complete opposites. To be precise, I'm just letting it bury me. Readjusting the imaginary polarity of the physical structure of the entire body. That is a suicidal act by itself. I am nothing more than a walking corpse. I just want to find a place where I can be buried in glory. It's the same for me and for Napoleon Bonaparte. Do you now feel humiliated because of my presence? Does my presence scare you? You who have been denying yourself in your long life, but in turn was denied by your own past. You who have been integrated with all your subjects and lost your speaking organ. Do you feel indignant at this moment? Or are you too busy trying to move your bulky body, trying to avoid the death that approaches as you step by step? All of that, to me, is not important. I just want you to know, you've gone so terribly astray, that your history, your original intentions, your original dream, would rather use its own death in exchange for your destruction. Bianca, when you hold the Holy Sword again, you might feel sad because of what happened at this moment. Oh, I remember this line. This was in the game, and I didn't understand it. We are traveling companions, adventurers constantly exploring in order to save the world. But today, the world also endured a lot of unnecessary pain due to my hesitation. But having said that, if it's you, you will certainly raise your head higher, keep walking at your usual pace, and move on unwavering, right? Because you already know, only this way can this imperfect story become perfect. She's almost like the Himiko for Bianca. And she has been there for almost the entire story too, which is crazy. And the imperfect world will have the tomorrow that everyone looks forward to. Bianca and Rita, who is always at your side. You also think so, right? I don't want the new chapter music. Curse you. Oh. That is a character reintroduction done so damn well. Okay. It's only 2. We got 3 more to go. First chapter, they did their plan. In the second one, they beat the Honkai monster. Whatever the hell portal thing was. I wonder if we'll ever see one of those in the game. In the depths of the earth, the girl dreamt fragmented dreams. In the gaps between each dream, impermanent poems are scattered. The flower that smiles today, tomorrow dies. There's a really pretty art in the background. Would make a good wallpaper. All that we wish to stay tempts and flies. What is this world's delight? Lightning that mocks the night. Grief, even as bright. Virtue, how frail it is. Friendship, how rare. Yeah, it's interesting. I can't remember her name. I'm really bad with names. But that's the priestess sacrifice herself. Love, how it sells poor bliss for proud despair. But we, though soon we fall, survive their joy and all, which ours we call. Yeah, it's an interesting music choice. Ah. Whilst skies are blue and bright, whilst flowers are gay, whilst eyes that change ere night make glad the day, whilst yet the calm hours creep, dream thou, and from thy sleep then wake. Yeah, that had to be the end. The dream gradually disappeared like a bubble at dawn. The girl felt the fresh air coming into her lungs. Her eyelids were heavy, and her limbs didn't want to wake up. She tried to fight off the drowsiness in her mind and struggled for control for 3 minutes, maybe a half an hour. Wow, that's scary. Needle. Ah, please don't move yet, Miss Bianca. You are in a coma for about 3 hours and 45 minutes. This is the last shot of the treatment. What are you treating her with? So until the injection is completed, please maintain a supine position. This is the kind of medicine the Overseer told you to bring before we set off. remember the principle behind it was holy blood diluted to a very low concentration. So basically, she used so much Honkai to make her recover quickly, like faster. They're giving her more holy blood. Because obviously she was born with holy blood. But they're giving her more holy blood to help her deal with the Honkai energy faster. That's interesting. She's probably the only person that could survive that treatment. Well, Kiana probably could too. Her, Kiana. Their mother is probably the first one that ever got it. I will now give you an intravenous injection, so I need you to be as quiet and relaxed as possible. I'm sorry. In that case, I only want to confirm one thing. The plan to cut the bubble universe, was it successful? The cutting itself cannot be said to have been very successful, only there may have been some remaining problems we need to solve, so please cooperate with the treatment for now. It's okay, it'll be over soon. God, the music volume. Why? This medicine is really powerful. I feel like I'm healthier than before I collapsed. So what's the situation now, and where are we? This is the infirmary of the Fortress Command Center, deep underground. We are now at the closest point to the anchor point. The operation, that you participated in to cut the bubble universe has ended. According to preliminary statistics from the chairwoman, 378 people were killed or missing in action. Including the first mate of Caledonia, Donna Francois Napoleon. What? Why would she? Napoleon is her pseudonym. According to Dr. Schrödinger, the archaeologist is actually a star whisperer, born from information fragments of the collective Napoleon. What? Roughly speaking, she is another Napoleon that exists in this world. In fact, her personality is closer to the one we learned about from textbooks in our world. After the bubble universe was cut, the Honkai beasts remaining on the fragments of Europe formed an aggregate of Napoleon's will, captured the most important anchor channel on the island, and cut off our lines of communication. In order to prevent the annihilation of more than 3,000 people on the island, Napoleon chose to die with Napoleon. She used the anchor to turn herself into a special attack weapon, and annihilated the Napoleon parts in the Honkai Beast aggregate. She used her own sacrifice to save the remaining 2,000 people, and saved the seriously wounded General Draculesti, General Sanada Yukamura, and Miss Caravaggio. It also avoided the need to forcibly activate the genius to bring you back to our original world. God, Bianca would hate herself. Could you imagine she woke up at home and it's like, oh yeah, the plan went wrong, Honkai Beasts attacked, and I had to forcefully evacuate us, so we don't know what happened to that world. I don't think Bianca would ever forgive Rita if that happened. I think we'd have a very different Bianca if that happened. However, although the Honkai Beast aggregate no longer exists, its Honkai energy has not been completely dispersed, I'm gonna guess. Not very good English. Not far from where it was defeated, Dr. Schrödinger found some newly formed giant crystals. For this reason, Dr. Schrödinger herself, Figura Kira, and Roland are still staying on the island for surveillance. This is the remaining problem I mentioned before, and it might need our help. What do we need to do? Use a Honkai energy attack to test the crystal's stability. If the crystals are stable, it's a good idea to bury them deep underground or throw them into space. And what if the crystals are fragile and easily leak Honkai energy? Then we blow them all up. How do we do that? Oh geez, the eye looks kinda creepy completed. Is it just me? Or does Durandal's eye look very reminiscent of like a Hersher eye? How it's kind of like the pointed sides with a very vertical, like cat-like pupil. I feel like almost every, like I don't mean the actual person's eye. I mean whenever there's like an eye in their memories watching them, or things like that, or even like the logo that we see in some places where it's 4 eyes for the imaginary logo. It looks really similar, which is also the Fatui logo in Genshin. The eye just looks really similar to that. That's where I come in, of course. You do? Yes, of course it's me. The only member of the mechanical race in Caledonia. Oh, remembers their name apparently. Matteo Maria Boyard Ludwig Aristotle the 12th. You're friggin' Aristotle? What? Oh, I just made that name up on the spot, so don't think too much. Okay, you made the name up. God damn it. God damn it. In short, this is the anthropomorphic form that I can use after having all my functions restored. Isn't it a lot more prestigious than before? You have a very creepy eye. Really fucking creepy eye. I think it turns downward, jeez. I don't know how this is for you guys. If you ever can't hear me, let me know. I'm trying to balance the audio levels, but it's so hard. I need to get a freaking soundboard at some point. Yeah, kinda. I woke up 35 minutes and 28 seconds earlier than my master, so I already set up the crystal purification procedures for you. So without further ado, shall we get going? Is your body fine now? Captain, old man, are you safe? Yes, we were well protected, thanks to the heroes who shed their blood and sacrificed their lives. So, are you going back to the battlefield with the Holy Sword? Yes, Dudu said it has the ability to deal with the residual Honkai energy. Then go ahead. This is probably the best thing that only you can do. I heard that there's a saying in Eastern philosophy that everyone is born with a fate. However, unlike the fate from prophecies, this kind of fate is almost always buried by trivial life. Only those with true wisdom and bravery can perceive their fate on a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and use it to create something that will be called impossible or a miracle by outsiders. Perhaps sometimes this miracle comes at a heavy price. Perhaps sometimes realizing our fate will make us sigh and grieve. But it is the history chosen by this world from countless possibilities, because of various coincidences that finally became our destiny. Kid, what I really want to say is, no matter the philosophy, changing fate is far more important than praying for fate or cursing fate. I still love how this stuff keeps coming back. Like, there's so many across all the stories of Honkai. The main story, the side stories, the manga, the visual novels. There's so many parallels Like, this is something that's shouted at you, basically, in Elysian Realm. That you shouldn't curse your fate, you shouldn't pray for something different. You choose your path, change your path. It's interesting that they keep... It feels like they have just a list of themes for the whole series, and they're making sure they constantly stay within those themes as best they can, and they remind people of them all the time. Time can't go backwards. The world can't be reset. Rather than talking about your reasons of sadness, better to count the things that can be done. Kid, your journey has only begun. Maybe there are countless worlds and countless obstacles still waiting for you. The audio's fine for you? That's good. So do your best. The best way to commemorate the deceased is to go forward on a path they have opened up. I will. Thank you very much, Sir Cervantes. Why is this the one time it actually puts Sir instead of, like, Sama? Although I've been here before, it still surprises me how big the central fortress to defend the anchor point is. She looks different. Her eyes do, anyway. Oh good, I caught up. Roland, did you come back from the Honkai crystal site? Miss Roland, could it be that an accident happened? No, it's nothing so big like an accident. It's just that Dr. Schrodinger detected abnormal fluctuations in the Honkai energy of the crystal, so she sent me back to discuss countermeasures with the chairwoman. The world is still in an unstable state after the cutting operation, so the communication with the island hasn't been restored. So we need to use human power to deliver these messages. Wait, could you help with the Honkai site now? Of course, we planned on that anyway. That's great. If Miss Bianca's present, then Shigeru Kira would also. Ah, nothing. I'm just worrying too much. Oh boy. She got accidentally burned while investigating the crystals, and her eyes and arms seemed to show some signs of corruption. She said she was fine, but... That's a problem. Roland, please report it to the chairwoman what happened. Reed and I are heading directly for Shigeru Kira. Would that be serious? Then after reporting the chairwoman, should I get everyone available to rush over? Yes, please. Oh, please tell me Kira survives. Oh boy, really loud again. In the east, there is a term for drought. Thousands of miles of red land. And now this small island in the North Sea has turned into a purgatory because of the action of cutting the bubble universe and the subsequent melee. The overflowing lava makes one think of that idiom. Oh boy. It's that... Hold on tightly, Shigeru Kira. Don't let the Honkai erode your will. Or is that... Oh. Is that Nigoroth? I didn't think about that. Calm down, Bianca. You got the wrong idea. I haven't been corrupted by the Honkai. Senior Kira, your body has been badly corrupted. Can't you even see yourself? Why am I being corrupted? Do I have... So that's what it is. Although it will only waste more time, it can't be helped. I'll have to explain it. Listen up, Self-Righteous Jr. It is not Honkai that is covering my body. It is a living alien. I call it by the second half of the name of my comrade in arms. Nigoroth. Yeah, I was gonna say. Nigoroth, Does this name come from Shubnigra, who belonged to the Snow Wolf squad alongside you? The Valkyrie who's rumored to have resurrected several times. Yes. This child can use its own cell repair to replace damaged organs and tissues of the host. That is the secret behind Shub-Niggurath's several resurrections. So you're telling me there was... I guess Shub-Niggurath is a very apt nickname. Literally, she was a human infested by an alien parasite. And that alien parasite was keeping her alive. That is so weird. That's not something I ever would have thought. So does that mean during Second Eruption, the original Niggurath died and the parasite jumped to Kira? Or did the two of them fuse? What did you say? Don't be surprised yet. Listen to me first. Although Niggurath can enhance the vitality of the chosen person, its own survival also depends on the host itself. Oh no. On the battlefield of the Second Eruption, when Shub-Niggurath's body completely collapsed, it chose me. At the time I lost consciousness, so I didn't know what happened. When I woke up, I was in another world. Niggurath's consciousness or emotions began to resonate in my mind. It's difficult to describe this feeling because Niggurath is not a creature with complex thinking. It just projects its various instincts on the human consciousness. All I know is it brought me to this world to avoid risks, and it's surprisingly compatible with my body. So when do we get a Niggurath? I want a Niggurath suit. That'd be cool. People in this world regarded me as a Star Whisperer copied by an Ether Anchor, and I accepted my new identity along the way. After all, after experiencing such a cruel war, to be honest, I don't want to go back to my original world. But you've been here ever since. Now is not the time to go over those things. I only explain this much to show that I have not been corrupted by the Honkai energy. It's just that I was hit by a sudden shock wave and lost consciousness, causing Niggurath in my body to produce a stress response. Niggurath just, it's like, oh shit, protect, must protect. A sudden shockwave. Yes, it's shameful to say I didn't even get close to the crystals. I lost consciousness without knowing what happened. When I woke up, I found myself floating in lava over Niggurath, under Niggurath's protection. Imagine just casually floating in lava. You're that resilient. I didn't see this coming, but this is actually really cool. Miss Roland and Dr. Schrodinger were also missing. I worry that they are already. This isn't good. What's the matter, Rita? Bianca, didn't you forget? We met Roland not long ago. How can that be? You accidentally burned while investigating the crystals, and her eyes and arms seemed to show signs of corruption. I noticed her eyes were weird. Said she was fine, but... I'm afraid that the person who had their will corrupted by the Honkai was Miss Roland herself. Doc, are you okay? I'm fine. Although this body is prone to losing unity after energy impact, it's not easy to leave irreversible damage. It just takes some time to condense back to this human form. Frickin' Schrodinger is just like, you know, I just stopped existing for a few seconds, don't worry, I'm back. I love Schrodinger as a character. I wonder if she's literally immortal now. So long as she has the willpower to pull herself back into existence, if she just can't die. Heard your conversation just now. Let me add a testimony. The shockwave that hit Kira and me was released by Roland herself. It clung to my body and blasted me to pieces. Oh, that's impossible. Roland has no reason to do this unless she was corrupted by Honkai. I searched the entire island while gathering my body. The crystals we monitored before are nowhere to be seen. And could it be that Roland? Oh my god, we carelessly led her into the fortress. A few minutes ago, the woman walked unhurriedly the empty corridor of the fortress. Her goal is very clear, and there's no hesitation in her heart. She knew that in this battered world, she is a unique and noble existence. Yes, she did originate from humans, but just like humans don't think of apes as their own kind, she doesn't see any difference between the naked apes and ants. To her, even Napoleon was nothing more than a stale and stubborn old father. This body is the crystallization of the coevolution of tens of thousands of wills. They got rid of the mastermind biding their freedom. They got rid of the ugly monstrous form. The Son of God, through the inherently incomplete Star Whisperer's body, finally came to this world. Yes, she still thinks she is just a son of God. She is not strong enough yet, so a little trick has to be used. When she is sure that she will succeed, the disguise will be unnecessary. Roland's consciousness is still alive in her body, but it is just a trivial nerve cell, a part of a body which does not represent the soul. All-nighters don't care about dry eyes. Marathon runners don't care about muscle soreness. So she was a puppet. No matter how much the mantis swings its forelimbs, the direction of the wind will not change. The Son of God was enjoying this small struggle in her body and leisurely walked the empty corridors of the fortress. Huh? Roland? Did something happen? No, everything is fine, chairwoman. It's just that we got reinforcement of the two Valkyries, so Dr. Schrodinger sent me back. Well, that's fine, after all. As a incomplete Star Whisperer, your Honkai resistance is not as good as theirs. I guess that's part of the weakness too, right? Star Whisperers are really strong, but she was damaged, incomplete, basically. Alas, we made such a big mess of ourselves, but we still need the help of the others to clean up the aftermath. Well, unpredictable things did happen, but I think you should be happy, Chairwoman and Commander. We don't think this is a bad result at all, because hasn't the most wonderful form of life been born in front of you? Doesn't look like a normal Honkai. Oh, it must be painful to have your neck clenched. Should we be sorry, since you may be the person who understands us best in this world? We don't want you to die without knowing anything like the chairwoman. Yes, show us more expressions of pain, helplessness, despair, astonishment, and anger. Why does she look familiar? Her eyes look like the Hersher the Void. Has the cross shape. Otherwise, where should we start? A self-introduction. Yes, it's polite to introduce yourself during the first meeting. In that case, we have to give ourselves a name, right? So, Commander, do you think there is a name suitable for us? The Son of God. Don't stay there in a daze, Valkyries. Let's head back to headquarters. I worry that it's already too late. Shigure, watch your feet. Oh. Music. This is... earthquake or volcanic eruption. That's not it. It seems like things are getting more and more out of control. What happened, Dr. Schrodinger? I'm not sure, but whatever it is, some kind of power right now is eroding the ether anchor itself. For this bubble universe, it means the end of the world. Are you saying the bubble universe will become a sea of fire, like here? That's uncertain. In fact, I think most areas won't. In this case, if the special anchor point system collapses, the bubble universe will likely become space-time fragments that will eventually decay and disappear. At the bottom of the Sea of Quanta, there are many such world fragments. It would be like if people could only live in the wreckage of a building, like prisoners, repeating the same day endlessly. Okay, so the bubble universes we experienced in the story were fragments. That's why they were kind of like loops. And a real universe like this one with an ether anchor, or the ones from the Captain verse, all of them had an ether anchor. Every single one stable bubble universe had an ether anchor. So it's multiple fragments being held together by that anchor. That's... Hello? Now is not the time to share this kind of knowledge. Did you not just tell me not to stay in a daze? Doctor, this power that you said is eroding the ether anchor. Can we stop it? Theoretically, however, now that the anchor point channel has become unstable, it's difficult for us to even return there to solve the problem. Didn't I just jump from there? That was when the anchor was stable. Now the energy fluctuations are so intense, how could we ever adjust flexibly in the air, not be torn apart by the rifts in time and space? Even though... Everyone look, something is flying towards here. Ooh. I'm confused. Oh, Bertrand. Valkyries, travelers, do you face any crisis? Do you need help? Well, it's been a bit. Yeah, we've a few. Brigadier General Bertrand, turned dragons, reporting. I feel like I get 20 years younger every day. General Dragon, great, you arrived at the perfect time. But why are you here? I felt the abnormal Honkai energy fluctuations from the Yucatan, and was worried that you had already gone to war with the Emperor. He's dead. Unexpectedly, I fell into the cracks of the world while flying. And after crawling out of it, the sight of purgatory was right in front of me. So is there really a problem? Long story short, General Dragon. Now we need to break into a fortress to save the world, but the space tunnel is very unstable, so we can't just jump in. Although I'm not sure what to do, but in return for your kindness, I think there should be no problem with carrying a few people through the space tunnel. Thank you, we'll get on you right away. Wait. Hi. You still have other allies heading here. Look. Oh. Yeah. Oh, they were heading here, weren't they? Bianca, long time no see. Timmy and Mr. Pilot. These are merely space fluctuations. How could it stop the wings of the Red Baron? But the machine is not as flexible as a real dragon. We were flying ahead of him, but it took longer to find a place to land. It doesn't matter. We didn't even expect you to be here at all. Bianca, Doctor, what is the current situation? We have to cross the anchor point and return to the core area of the Waka Tunnel, right, Schrodinger? Yes, before it's too late. You and Rita go back with the help of General Bertrand. Shigura, Kira, and I will board the improved Gent Baron. No matter who arrives first, give priority to the issue and search for Roland's whereabouts. This is a race against time. This may be our last shot at saving this world. Any remaining questions will be answered later. It's still crazy, all the different things with this story. The fact that this bubble universe is getting saved almost entirely because 4 people from the main universe came here. technically 5, I guess, if you include Niggurath. That's so crazy that just as much as we can hate some of the people from the previous era, the groundwork they set and then what Otto did with it has made people that are just able to change things. I'm sure, especially from what we learned, that a lot of it was previous era people and not just Otto, but it's crazy. Everything is impertinent. So many things happened in less than a day's work. Although it's too late, I still would like to say some things to His Majesty the Emperor, that sure enough, the Bonaparte from your youth has always been in the depths of your heart. I hate to tell you he's gone now. Ah, youngsters, you don't need to get sentimental over an old man like me. Although we have both lost someone close to us, my story has little to no ups and downs now, while yours has, in fact, only begun. Now, my question for this story, though, is this going to be a story where the people who are dead and they don't come back? Or are they going to do something with time to be able to save people? Or even just, technically half of them were Star Whisperers. They were ghosts anyway. Are they going to just bring them back as more ghosts? Like just more Star Whisperers? When the Emperor was still the Emperor, as long as he was working, you would not find the emotion called sadness in him. He said that the greatest kind of people in this world are the positively acting pessimists. He was the greatest of all pessimists. He knows that mankind will continue to struggle to survive, and that there is no benevolent power helping us in secret. But even then, he doesn't act negatively or scared. Even if he knows he is weak, he continues to move forward towards his goal. That is such a life lesson, holy shit. Not to be an optimist, because thinking too happy, too lucky, isn't going to get you anywhere. Be a pessimist, think the worst, but plan for it. Keep pushing forward even if you expect everything to go wrong. Try to make it go better. It's interesting. Because he knows deep down, in this world, only actions mean anything, and only actions can change destiny. Any thought without action is self-righteous arrogance. It's easier said than done. I remember there was such a saying in the East. That's right. The Emperor often warned us before. Thought without action, and action without thought, they are equally as dangerous. The former can only sit back and complain. The latter gets stubborn and fans the flames. The Emperor said that this kind of balance is difficult to grasp. He himself only performed well when compiling the Civil Code. He said that the Civil Code was the perfect combination of thought and action, and would never be abandoned by history. The job of the Valkyrie is to save the world. They will also not be abandoned by history. You are right. Your career is the cornerstone of everything. As long as you don't betray it, you deserve the praise of most people. As you know, the Emperor sacrificed the entirety of Europe for his own interests, and for the interests of France. That eventually became a fatal stain on him. Beethoven even ripped off the title of the symphony composed for him, changed Bonaparte to a hero. After all, compared to the whole world, and tens of millions of French people are just a small few. But, hello, phone. None of us can guarantee that what we are doing is in line with the interests of mankind and the progress of civilization, right? That's a good way to think. Judging from what you reported, the Emperor may have chosen to integrate with his subjects to a new form of life, just to avoid that. But for what price? These subjects were his most loyal and radical servants in the past. Combining them only allowed a group of people to rush down the road of paranoia more quickly. This is true. If you have a group of crazed radical people, you're going to get a crazed radical being. Perhaps picking up the fragments of mankind and fusing them all together, the way to transcend Honkai. But this example before us is definitely the worst of the worst. It is a child born from personal and deformed desires. It's a pity that His Majesty the Emperor's other half has died with him, and the remaining parts seem to be causing an even bigger disaster. That's true, they cancelled out Napoleon, but everything else is still there. It was a hive mind. Kinda like the Hersher of Reason. Sure, the original Welt died, but the Hersher of Reason was a crystal full of humans fighting for hope. So, any Hersher of Reason is still gonna fight for hope after that, no matter who inherits it. This is like the opposite of the Hersher of Reason. This is the worst case scenario. Master, this is not the time to be angry or sad. I know. Before we save the world, none of us can lose our cool. You come in for the sad times, BGM. Yeah, sorry, Neko. You missed a whole chapter. Good morning. You missed a single chapter which ripped apart the world. A single chapter that defeated a giant Honkai beast that was probably basically a Hersher. And then we found out the Hersher was just like, haha, I'm still alive. Congratulations, you just got a summary of everything we've done. Huh. We're basically dealing with an evil Hersher of Reason, almost. Like it's a hive mind that is radical and just wants to evolve to a supreme being. I'm not saying it's actually a Hersher of Reason, it's the same idea. Miss Bianca, General Bertrand, it seems that we are very close to the entrance of the space crack. Got it. Let's rush straight in. Durandal, pay attention to the fluctuations of the anchor point and correct the target position in real time. Does anyone else think it's really weird hearing Bianca say Durandal? Leave it to me. Oh, jeez, that's a menacing way to do the art. The remains of the Star Whisperers gradually dissipated, and the central monitoring room that could control the entire ether anchor was silent at this moment. Was it really? Huh. Well, I am glad I didn't see it then, because this is exciting. The demon born in the body of the old king lives in the center of the Bunnable universe like a spider, savoring its prey. Why does she look so familiar? Let me look stuff. Am I thinking... Why are the evil ones so cute? I don't know. But her eyes look really similar to like a red version of the Hersher the Void. But she looks so familiar to me. Is it... I can't remember her name. I believe she was a Hersher, but the girl from... Ellen Palatinus, who absorbed the Honkai? Is that what she looks like? I know she was more like a spider. No, not really. Doesn't look the same. I don't know. She just looks really familiar, like I've seen her before. I don't know why. But... You managed to find us before we bid farewell to the old world after all. And before we become a god that transcends this world, 5 minutes remain. We are very interested in seeing what else you can do. Oh no. Weird, how come there's nobody here? Miss Bianca, look over there. Bianca, Rita, how come you are on this side? That's what I want to ask as well. Didn't we divide the troops after landing to search for Roland's whereabouts? Why did we meet head-on? This passage shouldn't be circular. Didn't we even leave the General and Watt behind to meet at the starting point? Congratulations! Space in this world doesn't make sense. Oh my gosh, Samari. You know what? I'll do it. Ah. I could probably use it anyway. Let me quickly do a good stretch, see if I can crack my back. Something is trying to eat best girl there. Are you talking about Kira? Or are you talking about Schrodinger? Don't worry, Schrodinger was literally ripped apart and she just pieced herself back together. You just did a new survey for it? Did they send something new? Oh, you just saw that. We saw that the other day. I did that survey on stream. And I'm excited but worried for it. Because it could mean that, like, when you go to a world, maybe you have a certain amount of lives or checkpoints. And so it's not going to be something where, like, you die in a battle and you have to redo that battle. You got it in the mail? I think that was the beta invite. As soon as the beta invite was announced, the next morning on stream, I spent like 30 minutes going through it to sign up. Then again, you usually do come a little later into the day, so you probably missed that. You probably just got to see me watching the trailers. But yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be something like that. Like, you know, old school RPGs. That it's going to be like there's save points or checkpoints. I think that's a good thing if they can pull it off well. And if they make it genuinely roguelike. Like, could you imagine you could replay a world and it's totally different each time and the loot is in different places, the enemies are in different places? If they can pull off a roguelike turn-based experience with Honkai, I think it could be a lot of playability. Again, I haven't actually played the game. I haven't watched any of the betas. I haven't heard anything about that, so if they're planning to do any of that, it hasn't been in the game yet, or people have been very silent. I've noticed I haven't seen any leaks, so whoever signed the NDA have been doing good, they've been quiet. It could be like dungeons. I hope it's not like domains in Genshin where it's just waves of enemies on a circle. I wouldn't mind dungeons like that though, like a proper long dungeon that you can't save, you have to beat it all the way through. But who knows? Yeah, like I was even saying on the stream when we filled that out, that a roguelike technically could be a Souls-like game, right? The fact that when you die you drop your currency for levels, your experience, and if you don't go get it, you could lose it. That's technically somewhat roguelike. It's very loosely roguelike, but we're all Honkai fans here. Yeah, I'm excited, honestly, for that. But yeah, I'm curious, who are you referring to, something trying to eat best girl there? Oh no, you did say Kira. Do you know what that is? Because it kind of blew my mind. We have found out that, Kira's partner, the person who was in Squad Snowwolf, Shub-Niggurath, the reason they went with that name was not because of who they are, but because of their inheritance. Niggurath had inherited an alien parasite. That alien parasite requires a host, and so it will rebuild the host's body and save their life to the best of its ability. So Niggurath has literally died multiple times, and that parasite has brought her back to life. Knowing what I know about memory and brains and stuff, that probably means each time they were brought back to life, it was technically a slightly different person. But, apparently in Second Eruption, the host was completely destroyed. And so Shub-Niggurath, the parasite, had to jump host, and it went to Kira. And then the Kira we knew in Second Eruption fell through the Sea of Quanta and got to this world. She pretended to be a Star Whisperer because it was convenient, but she has no intention of ever going home because she hates that world. Since most roguelikes are set to low, not entirely. Like, some are. Like, a very strict rogue is like you restart from the beginning. But again, if you consider like a Souls game to be somewhat roguelike, where you keep some of your progress, but you lose progress if you die, I can see it being like that. It really just depends on how much so they plan to keep it that way. Like, I feel like we're gonna have to solve a problem in one go, and if we fail, we have to take what we learned from that failure and try and solve it in one go again. Which could be interesting so long as it's fun, and there's enough variation. But, let's see. Let's keep going. You didn't meet anyone along the way. Yeah, not a single guard, but if Honkai already captured this fortress, why would the battlefield be so clean? Indeed, Honkai has not wanted to deliberately clean the battlefield. And since we proved with our feet that this passage is circular, there's only one possibility I can think of. Part of the fortress where we are standing may have broken away from the normal order organized by the anchor. What do you mean? Bianca, think of it like this. The underground fortress was originally built on the place closest to the ether anchor. And what is the anchor itself? It is the core that organizes this large-scale bubble universe. The book spine that organizes many different small spaces, tidally like pages. No, in this case, a messy data cable on a computer might be a better analogy. In short, because the fortress is too close to the anchor point, it's actually very easy for it to be disassembled into tiny independent pieces, each of which is very similar to a separate world fragment? Yeah, okay, I thought it was going to be fragment. In other words, our encounter is a half circle of a world in opposite directions. Yeah, but I barely, they barely gave us much to fully understand it. And I also did that chapter before Second Eruption. So everything is kind of falling into place now that I'm seeing all the side content. So, are you saying that this fortress has already been disassembled and we got the wrong fragment? No, the first half of what you said is correct, but the second half isn't. Shigura-kira, the Nigoroth in your body, does it also have an organ that can sense Honkai energy? Organ? It's not always easy to get what you mean, but yes, Nigoroth has a way to tell me the approximate distribution of Honkai energy around me. Explains why Shub-Niggurath was so good against the Honkai. Then can you detect the crystals we were investigating before? There's a small, vague feeling. I even think it might be hidden behind the wall in front of us. That can't be true. No, my smell tells me the same. Alright, since it's like this, it's very simple. Bianca, punch the wall. What do I need to do? Cut the space there with the holy sword. Oh, okay, sword. The culprit we are looking for is behind this wall. Is it really that simple? It's that simple. Very well. Then let's do it. She doesn't even wait. Oh my. As expected of you, Lenina has been waiting here for a long time. You are... Roland. Ah. You mean the original owner of this body? The Star Whisperer Knight Roland is just one of the thousands of cells that make up us. Nothing special, nothing meaningful, can't even take part in the thinking. That means you're just a damn parasite. Gee, what a rude little creature. All the various creatures of this world evolved from single cells like bacteria. That's the discovery Darwin made in another world, and we think you should all be familiar with it. Oh boy. What's the volume looking like? Okay, it's okay, I think. So using that truth as a metaphor, we, La Niña, are the evolution of both the subjects of the Napoleonic Empire and your Knight Roland, under the beautiful effect of Honkai. He becomes our bones, and we become her wisdom. Do you think that the bones in your body are jealous of your brain? What the hell are you talking about? Do you think this is ridiculous, Miss Shigura-kira? Even though you survived our attack thanks to the benefit of fusing with another creature, is it so hard for you to understand why we are so much better than ordinary people? You only make me sick. Perhaps. Our birth does seem a little too wonderful. If you think about it, it is the result of so many coincidences happening one after the other. Okay, there's one thing I'm curious. La Niña. Just the girl? Really? No, I meant that. Yeah, it is just the girl. Okay. Okay. So she literally just calls herself the girl. You think about it, it is the result of so many coincidences happening one after the other. First of all, our emperor, Mr. Napoleon. He incorporated us as part of his body, so his rule could last for generations. After that, you, the Republic that wanted to get rid of his threat, cut off a part of the bubble universe, forcing us, body and soul, to fully combine under the effects of Honkai. And after that, the opposite existence of the Emperor chose to die with him, and we became the brain in the jar, trapped in the crystallization of Honkai energy. And in the end, the incomplete Star Whisperer happened to appear before us, allowing us to use her body for our rebirth. What are you trying to do now? Trying to use our feelings for Roland? What an impatient little girl. Phew. I'm not afraid to treat you like a comrade in arms who is corrupted by the Honkai on the battlefield. To get upon Roland's body quickly, or I will not hesitate to use the holy sword Durandal. Oh my, rude and impatient, like a little bandit. At least your companions have more restraint. But what a pity. This time you were in the right, and they were in the wrong. What do you mean? You need me to spell it out for you. While you were threatening us, the synchronization between us and the anchor was quietly completed. From now on, we are the anchor, and the anchor is us. And you, in order to listen to our story, just wasted the last 5 minutes in which you could stop La Niña. What a pity. Synchronized with the anchor. Ah, dear doctor. Among them you must be the one who understands the weight of that sentence the most. The ether anchor controls the world. If someone can synchronize with it, they will not only be unaffected by the laws of this world, but will even be able to use them to their advantage. In other words, we are the Son of God, La Niña. Have become a god of this world, which you are oh so concerned about. It kind of makes sense that that's kind of how the ether anchors work. Because we already know that Honkai have cores, and those cores allow them to defy the laws of physics. So they're essentially ether anchors. The same idea, maybe a little bit corrupted by Honkai, but... It's not possible. No one has been able to manipulate even 1,000th of the anchor's information at the same time. What kind of bluff are you trying to use here? Bluff? No, you are wrong, Miss Idol. La Niña is not only one person, but 1,000, as well as 100,000. You can't begin to imagine what we can do. Rest assured, this is actually a good thing. What the Emperor did was kill the chicken to get the eggs, and the Republic's cutting the bubble universe was breaking the pot. And only we, the holy child chosen by fate, can keep this world alive for a long time, and let it have a tomorrow and an after tomorrow. As proof of that, yes, why don't we copy a few of the people who just died in this world for you? What did you say? Honkai energy pours out from the body of La Niña. The scary thing is, most of the energy did not dissipate, but condensed into both familiar and unfamiliar figures. Oh, it seems something went wrong. Yes, how could I forget? These people's minds were so delicious that we've already digested them. Now we can't vomit them out anymore. Whatever, the moving goodbye did not happen here. But if you were all eaten by us, couldn't everyone reunite in the same body? You're crazy. Yeah? The closest I can think of is that it's some sort of parasite, similar to Shub-Niggurath. Like... it's furthered evolution, it's destroyed things. Something tells me just the Honkai in the main universe is controlled by a will, that something is manipulating it. But I think it might literally just be survival of the fittest, that it's literally just something that's a parasite trying to survive. But who knows, right? We haven't been given enough info to ever get a proper answer. Did you plan on winning by relying on Durandal? And in front of the body of Roland, did you want to teach a fish how to swim? The sword broke. Did you not notice until now the weakness of this sword is its complete form itself? Well, since your friends are less skilled, let's get rid of you first. I won't let you. A freeze attack? What a joke. Did you hope that this power would work on us? We didn't. Just like you now, we bought her some precious time. Bianca, use your will to move the gems of Durandal. You are its current owner. It will certainly respond to your will. Yes. Roland's holy sword. If you agree to let me save her honor in this world, if you are willing to use my body to destroy the enemy, then respond to my heartfelt call, Immortal Blade. Impossible! What is this? It turns out that's how it is. Used as a weapon, Solium can replace the body of a Valkyrie to absorb, control, and release Honkai energy. But conversely, a Valkyrie can also use her body to temporarily do what Solium does. Slight correction, Bianca, your body is a little different than most people's. You might be the sole exception. Well, you and your sister, but you don't know about that yet. So, you who call yourself La Niña, the scum of this world. This is the purification program that the Holy Sword prepared for you before we set off. Take this. Oh. Roland! Don't panic, Bianca. The Honkai energy in her body was drained by you. She just passed out. Besides that, yes, the underlying problem is still there. Dr. Schrödinger, what does that mean? Your and the Holy Sword is no exception. Perception of the Honkai energy is indeed not as sensitive as mine, or Shigeru Kira's. The purification procedure just now has indeed erased the consciousness mixed in the Honkai energy. But the problem is that the Honkai energy has been associated with the ether anchor. Even with the Holy Sword, can only push it deeper into the anchor point, rather than outside of the bubble universe. Why is this outfit for Rita not a game? Good question. It'd be pretty nice if they added more outfits and stuff. Just based on the mangas and visual novels and stuff. Just like how you can't use washing powder to clean the water itself. So, what will happen next? The bubble universe will have temporary peace. However, due to the corrosive effect of the freely running Honkai on the anchor point, it will likely disintegrate completely within 3 to 5 years. Disintegrate completely? Yes, the bubble universe will be broken into countless pieces and head to its end. This process started the moment La Niña died. In other words, this bubble is slowly disintegrating as we speak. How can that be? You're right, no one can accept this fate. Fortunately, I can think of one solution, but the pros and cons weigh the same, so I need your consent. I need to find the whole soundtrack for the visual novel for the next time I read a manga. These are so good. It's okay, no matter what you say, if it can completely save this world, I agree. Listen to me first. The method I just came up with isn't an ultimate solution to the problem, it's a substitution for the plot of La Niña, but will greatly delay the death of this world. And also, once this plan is up in action, everyone except the 4 of us will have to stay inside this dying bubble universe, whether they want it or not. The space-time cracks of this world will be completely locked from the outside. We won't be able to say goodbye to them, and we will have no chance to tell them what happened here. We will even lose the chance to repair the Durandal. but I assure you this world will indeed gain precious breathing time. Whether it's me, Shigeru Akira, your overseer Otto, or someone from Anti-Entropy, it is possible to use this time to find a permanent solution. But since this is the only way I can think of at the moment, from a decision-making perspective, none of that is the deciding factor. The deciding factor is that the fate of this world will depend on you alone from now on. Could it be that you want me to? That's right. You will directly replace La Niña as God, and lock the survival of this bubble universe within yourself. As long as you live, this world will exist, but on the contrary, the process of disintegration will start once again, once you die. I had never expected it, but you behaved better as Durandal's gem container than the original Solium body. In this way, although we won't be able to completely separate the Honkai energy left by La Niña in the ether anchor, we can use the gems of Durandal to seal the entire anchor, along with the bubble universe itself and the Honkai energy, inside your body. What? Inside my body? Literally. Exactly what I said, just like how you used your own body to replace Durandal's sword body. Just like how a geometric inversion can place an object from the outside the circle inside the circle. Using Durandal's energy manipulation tech, we can treat you as a circle and invert the bubble universe outside you to inside you. After the inversion takes effect, you can use the genius to return to Shixel headquarters as normal. And the bubble universe, yes, from a philosophical perspective, will become your personal little universe. Of course, for you personally, it won't just be a mental burden. You are a Valkyrie, so this may make some people from Shixel want to conduct human experiments on you. But as I said earlier, this is the only way I can think of right now. Perhaps we can find another way, if we sit down and research. But at that time, as the anchor will be more eroded and destroyed, we might lose the chance to invert the bubble universe with Durandal's gems like we have now. Using my smell of Honkai energy to estimate, we still have a week or so until we have to decide on whether we do the inversion or not. Doctor, I've heard enough. Yeah. After all this, of course she doesn't care. She's gonna do it. You just need to tell me how to grasp this life-saving straw and save the world. I like a lot of people in this world, some even gave up their lives for its future. No matter what, I don't want to let this world end with death. Now that our journey brought us here, we must help them protect it to the end. Bianca, you are the bravest person I have ever met. But how can you do it so easily? How can you decide the future of your life in one go? Won't you shoulder the responsibility of a whole world? Senpai, hasn't the life of a Valkyrie always been like that? We are warriors, people who can die at any time, and people who will always bear the fate of everyone's lives. We had no intention of ignoring the destruction in front of us from the beginning. In fact, since then, we had already decided what our life would be like. If anyone hesitates about this, then they haven't carefully thought about what it means to be a Valkyrie who fights for all that's beautiful in this world, said the line. For the people that I like, and for the people that they like, they're so... Oh... Oh, those sisters are so fucking alike. Oh, my model's lost tracking, I'm sorry. This is the same thing Kiana said. This is the same fucking thing Kiana said. Ah. For everyone who make people be people, They have moved me, and I'm willing to dedicate everything I have to protect them. This is just a variation of what Kiana said. Oh my god. Holy Sword, if you are still conscious, if you still feel like I am master worthy of your trust. Yeah, they didn't get to grow up together, but they lived the same life. Years apart, but they did the same things. They found the path one way or another. Go beyond your limits with me. The shining armor that suddenly covered her whole body. Did Bianca and the Holy Sword achieve a deeper fusion? Space has begun to distort. Is the thing behind her a black hole? No, that should be called a horizon. A black hole is just one way to produce them. It seems the Immortal Blade understands what I meant by inversion. Invert the whole world? Do you mean to store the whole world in a point with no volume? The size of the bubble universe itself is pretty small. Bianca and Durandal can do this. Miss Rita, prepare your genius. Figura Kira, wake up, Migura. Roland was originally a star whisperer born from the anchor. No matter what we do, he would be forced back into the bubble universe. Everyone, it's time to say goodbye. Fuck. Miss Bianca, you don't have to force yourself to speak. It's alright. I'm getting more and more used to it. I can feel the sky and earth inside my body. Someone is welcoming a brand new blue sky. Someone is hugging their friends. I will cherish all of them. Rita, now, start the genius. The inversion will end soon, and we will be forced into the void of the Sea of Quanta. Yes, Miss Bianca. Ah. And it says new chapter, not last chapter. So was that really only 3? We have 2 more? And I was told the last 2 are the longest? The hell? What? Oh boy. God, I cried so much in that chapter, what the hell? When Bianca started giving that speech, and almost like word for word, like sure there was a few synonyms and slight differences, and that could be a translation thing, right? But it was almost exactly what Kiana said when she became a Hersher. That she loved them, and she loved what they loved. That she would bring together everything they did. God, that was such a good moment. I'm almost heartbroken that I didn't read this before doing that chapter. Because I was really hyped watching that cinematic when I first saw it. Like, I was excited, I was proud of Kiana, and I still would have been, but I would have been crying my eyes out if I had seen this before that chapter. Oh my gosh. High in the north, in the land called Smithshod, there is a mountain. Oh, hey. It has English just because it's an English thing. The story of mankind. It is 100 miles long and 100 miles high, and once every 1,000 years a little bird comes to this very mountain to sharpen its beak. When the mountain has thus been torn away, a single day of eternity will have passed. The hero is gone, the wound gradually healed. The everyday life has returned. Just like how the eternal stars rise from east to west, day after day. Yeah, I still have my replay going. I'm gonna cry over and over through that. 10 years have passed in the bubble universe's time. Well, Antonio's here, is he? Oh, hey. Hey, Thales. Thales is now Antonio, apparently? Ready at your pleasure, your grace. I am sorry for you. You have come to answer a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, devoid of even a drop of mercy. I've been told your grace has taken great pains to dissuade him from his course, but he's determined, and as the law can't help me avoid his revenge, then... The saying fits well, one should die in silence. I feel ashamed. I've never had the guts to do anything extraordinary, so today I have to quietly welcome my tragic fate. What? Oh my gosh. What? What the Thales said wasn't in the script at all, was it, Captain? Is this someone freaking playing out what happened? Hahaha, does that matter? It is very common for actors to forget their lines. As long as they continue to speak according to the situation, the story will develop normally. Is this an alternate universe where Shakespeare is actually a dude? This is kind of funny. Seeing Shakespeare, it's literally the normal female Shakespeare, but with a mustache. And I will correct you. In here I am the director of the theater, not the captain. As the Orientals say, if the name is not right, the words won't flow well. I'm confused. I'm sorry. I'm just not used to it. Also, this looks like an old Bianca. Like, this doesn't look like Bianca's a kid. Haha, you don't have to get so cautious all of a sudden. It's not bad to be humble, but I prefer you, who is more easygoing. Rita sometimes says the same thing. However, this is the so-called growth, right? I experienced, lost, and gained many things. I'm so confused what's going on right now. In the end, it may be very different from the past, but I know from the depths of my heart I managed to protect the treasure I cherish most in this world. My true self. You have really grown up, Bianca. Although on your side the flow of time is much slower, compared to the decade that has passed here. Director of the theater, it's your scene next. Oops, it's my turn to play. Bianca, can you match your lines with mine? Of course. I wonder if this is like a Star Whisperer, Bianca. That'd be pretty crazy. All I hear is Neptune, oh boy. Oh, is there an English voice on there now? I'm gonna have to go look at that. I'm not gonna do it on stream just because this is story stuff, but that's interesting. Though the thing is, I don't think Silver Wolf was Brony's nickname. That's Bronya from our universe's nickname, so that's weird. Shylock, come forward. We are all waiting for you to change your mind and give up cutting that pound of meat from this unfortunate businessman. I've told your grace what my intentions are. I've sworn by our holy Sabbath to get the full penalty for failure to pay the debt If you deny it, you'll be undermining your city's constitution and the rule of law. You'll ask me why I'd rather have a measure of dead flesh than receive 3,000 ducats. Just say I feel like it. Is that good enough? I'm confused. What if my house were plagued by a rat and it suited me to pay 10,000 ducats to have it poisoned? Isn't that my freedom? There are some men who don't like the sight of a gaping pig's head, some who go mad if they see a cat, and others who can't help wetting themselves when they hear the nasal whine of the bagpipes. That is because our likes and dislikes govern our emotions. No one is their own master. When one's own likes and dislikes are stimulated, they don't need a reason. Everyone can't help but show their ugly side. And for me, it is a solid hatred and loathing that I have for Antonio that makes me pursue this money-losing case against him. Have you got your answer? You callous man. This is no excuse for your cruelty, so is this all just a play? I don't have to please you with my answers. You're crazy. Do all men kill the things they dislike? Wouldn't every man just love to kill the things he doesn't like? Every offense causes hatred in the first place. How could that be true? What? Would you allow a serpent to sting you twice? Please don't forget, you're arguing with the Jew. You may as well stand on the beach and tell the sea not to reach its usual high point. You may as well ask the wolf why he has made the ewe bleed, in reverence of its lamb. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to sway or make a noise in the buffeting winds. So, my friend, I beg you not to try anything else or use any further means, but let me have the judgment and the Jew his will as soon as possible. You, how can you give yourself up like this? To the old man over there, if he borrowed 3,000 ducats, I will return you 6,000. I just said so much. Did you not listen? Listen well, brat. If every ducat in that 6,000 were multiplied by 6, I would not take the money. I want the punishment done as per the contract. You... How can you hope for mercy, not giving any yourself? What do you mean, your grace? What judgment should I fear, not having done anything wrong? Between you, many have brought slaves, which, treating them like beasts, you use for dirty and difficult jobs. If I were to say free them, marry them to your children, why care about the money spent? Give them beds as soft as yours and good food like your own. Where would your compassion be then? You would answer, the slaves are our property. And that's how I'm answering you. The pound of flesh that I demanded of him was expensive. It's mine, and I'm going to have it. If you deny me, then shame on your law. It will mean that the laws of Venice are only a piece of paper for decoration. Gosh. How rude. I am waiting for the verdict, your grace. Answer me quickly. Will I have it? I have sent someone to ask for Don Quixote. Quixote? Was it? Quixote? I know I've been told how to pronounce this a million times, and I see it once every 2 weeks, I feel like. I don't think they said his name last week. A learned lawyer to resolve this case. He does not come today. According to the power invested in me by the state, I am able to postpone the trial. Wait. The name of this doctor appeared once before. You can't change it so casually, right? Well, Bianca is right on this one. The details can be left to the actors, but the structure cannot be changed at will. Bellario is the cousin of the heroine, Portia, which is explained in the third act, named Portia. Don Quixote. Okay. So I kinda got it the last time. Okay, I'm learning. I hate English. Why is it not written like that? Why can't everyone just use, like, a syllabary? Like what Japanese uses or Korean uses. It's so much easier to read. Well, I'm getting old, and my head doesn't work as well as it used to. Okay, I was gonna say, that did look like him. So he literally used his own name. Oh, I know the name isn't English. But what I'm saying is that English has rules for pronouncing things, but it adds so many exceptions, right? The writing system should be a way of writing the phonetics. It should write the language. It shouldn't just be letters and, oh yeah, no, in this case, when you use these letters, it sounds like this. Right? Like, you can't, it's just so dumb because there's so many weird exceptions. I guess that's not even English, it's everything Latin based. Like, everything using the Latin alphabet. It's just, why? Just let the letters have a sound and don't add weird exceptions. Hate the language. Hate it. It's why I tried learning Japanese in the first place, because it's such a beautifully simple language with its basic writing. Of course, kanji confusing, but I love kana. I love a syllabary. So much better than an alphabet. I couldn't quite remember the name of the doctor just now, so I had to put Don Quixote in it. Hahaha. Then how about this? We give the line to Bassanio. Let him add the name of the doctor. But yeah, no, like, it's just the writing system. The writing system sucks, and multiple languages have bastardized that writing system for hundreds of years. That's my issue with it, is the writing system has just been ruined, and I hate trying to read stuff because of it. It makes no sense. I have to remind him. Yeah, the governor dragged his tone and did not say the name. I have sent someone to ask for. You immediately add, Dr. Bellario, Your Grace. Then the governor can go, yes, Dr. Bellario, a learned lawyer to solve this case. Oh, that's a good idea. Then let's continue. What is this play? I have sent someone to ask for, Dr. Bellario, your case. Yes, Dr. Bellario, a learned lawyer to solve this case. He does not come today. According to the power invested in me by the state, I am able to postpone the trial. Your Grace, the governor. What is it? There's a messenger waiting outside, just arrived from Badua, with letters from Dr. Bellario. Just in time, bring me the letters and call the messenger in. Be happy, Antonio. Come on, man, be brave. This barbarian will have my flesh, blood, bones, and all before you'll lose one drop for my sake. I am the runt of the flock and the most vulnerable. It is my destiny to be slaughtered. The weakest fruit drops earliest to the ground, and so will I. Let me end my life of misfortune this way. The best thing you can do, Bassanio, to stay alive and write my epitaph. Hey, stop saying these self-defeating things. Look, the messenger has already come. Alice! I greet your grace, the governor. Have you come from Padua, from that doctor? From both, my lord. Bellario sends his compliments to your grace. This is his handwritten letter. Please read it. Hey, you're being noisy. Why are you sharpening your knife so earnestly? Of course, it's to cut the meat from that bankrupt guy there that belongs to me. Damn! The boy has grown into a man. Holy shit. Looking good. You cruel Jew. It's not on your soul that you're sharpening your knife. You're sharpening it on your stone heart. No metal, not even the hangman's axe, is half as hard as your heart. Can no prayers move you? Oh my gosh, he still stutters. Jimmy, you're too nervous. I'm sorry. When I noticed that my part to accuse the villain, I just... Yeah, it came out yesterday that it's being delayed. The only thing that upsets me about it is that I know it's being delayed because of medical issues, because of COVID. It's not being delayed because they're taking extra time to fix the game, as far as I know. Because I've been saying this for months, right? I want MiHoYo to delay an update, or give us like an empty update that's just rerun events and old rerun banners, and take the extra time to make the game better. Fix stuff that needs to be fixed, clean up things, make the systems work better, make it so that future content will be better. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I wish. I wish. Oh well. But let's keep going. Is there something wrong with that? Isn't it interesting to have a timid and scared Graciano who wants to stick in to his simple sense of justice? Ah, sorry. I just can't help but feel anxious when I see this type of person. Since everyone here is a temporary guest actor, you must let the characters flow of your own nature, so that you can play it well. So, shall we continue with the rehearsal? After all, won't tomorrow's performance be broadcast to the whole world? None that you're intelligent enough to make. Go rot in hell, you heartless dog. Until the time comes that you can shout the seal from my contract. You're only hurting your lungs with that noise. Why bother? Good boy, I advise you to calm down. Don't continue to make a fool of yourself. And don't do something unimaginable to yourself or others. Your Grace, I only ask for fair judgment by the law. I hate people like this. Like, not like Shakespeare, but like the character Shakespeare is playing. Because they exist, right? People who study the law find loopholes and use those loopholes to take advantage of people. Worst. The worst people. This letter said that the doctor himself could not appear, but he recommended a young and promising lawyer to our court. Messenger, has this young man come with you? Yes, he's waiting nearby to know your answer, to hear whether you'll admit him or not. With all my heart. Hurry up. 3 or 4 of you officials go and escort him here with all due courtesy. Young man, you've come from the doctor. Oh my god, it's Rita. I have, my lord. You are welcome. Take your place. Are you acquainted with the dispute that occupies this court? I am fully briefed on the case. Which is the bankrupt merchant, and which is the creditor? Antonio and old Shylock both come forward. Is your name Shylock? Shylock is my name. Your suit is an unusual one, but it stands up legally, and Venetian law can't challenge its validity. Antonio, you're in some danger from this suit of his, aren't you? Yes, that's what he claims. Do you admit to this debt? I do. Since the other party admitted to being wrong, then I suggest the creditor to be merciful. Why does everyone want me to be merciful? On whose authority must I? I am a scholar, so forgive me if I sound like a sermon, but the quality of mercy is not strained. It drops on to the world as a gentle rain does to all sentient beings. It is doubly blessed. It blesses both the giver and the receiver, and to those who provide mercy, it gives a different type of happiness, one that's more noble and comforting than any right or wealth. I've spoken about this to soften the justice of your plea. If you insist on pure justice, however, then this serious Venetian court has no alternative other than to pronounce sentence against the merchant. I'll not give in. I only ask that the law allow me to execute the punishment as per the contract. Is he unable to pay you the money? No, he can pay. I'm offering it to him here in the court, indeed twice the sum. If that's not enough, I'm willing to to pay it 10 times over on collateral of my hands, my head, my heart. If that's still not enough, then it's not the money that's the issue, it's the desire to murder my friend. Doctor, I beg of you, use your authority to bend the law. Do a small wrong to bring about a great right, and prevent this cruel devil from having his way, or else the whole law will be the accomplice of a murder. I mean, technically, if he's not willing to take the money, and the money was the contract, then he's bending the law, and you could punish him for that. It can't be done. There is no power in Venice that can circumvent an established law. It would create a precedent and encourage many other irregularities in the court. It's impossible. But Daniel come to deliver justice. The wisdom of this young man is simplicity rare in this world, and I agree with his every word. Blender, please let me see the contract. Here it is, most reverend doctor, here it is. Shylock, will you not think of it again? They are willing to repay you with more than 3 times the money. No, I have sworn an oath, oh heaven. Do you want me to burden my soul with perjury? No. Not even for the whole of Venice would I give it up. Very well, then we will punish as agreed. Then the Jew may lawfully claim a pound of flesh to be cut by him from the merchant's chest. But, Mr. Shylock, I advise you one last time. Be merciful. Take 3 times the money. Tell me to tear up the contract. When it's paid according to its terms, you can tear it up. You appear to be a good judge. You know the law. Your interpretation has been very sound. You're indeed a rising star of the legal world. Yeah, but you don't realize that what you want to do is also illegal. In the name of the law, I ask you to proceed to judgment. I don't want a reconciliation or accommodation. I just want to enforce the penalty clause. My desperate heart also asks you to use this sentence to end its suffering. All right. Well then, this is it. You must prepare your breast for his knife. O noble judge, O excellent young man. The reason why I pronounce this sentence is because the contractual punishment does not conflict with the laws of Venice. It's very true, O wise and upright judge. How much older you are than you look. Antonio, uncover your chest. Yes, his chest near his heart. Here, it's written on the contract. That's right. Are there scales here to weigh the flesh? I have them here. Well, I hope you have a doctor standing by, Shylock, at your expense to stop his wounds in case he bleeds to death. Does it say that in the contract? It's not detailed, but what of that? You'd naturally do that out of charity. Sorry, but I can't find any surgeon nor the obligation to do so. Then, Merchant Antonio, do you have something to say? Very little. I'm fortified and mentally prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Farewell. Don't grieve that I've fallen to this state for your sake. Any man who truly loves his friends would do the same. Remember me to your dear wife. Tell her the story of Antonio's death. Tell her how much I loved my friends and how I accepted my death. I think the messed up thing is that shit like this has actually happened. I want to know where this is going, though. Speak well of me, and when the tale has been told, ask her whether Bassanio was once dearly loved by his friend. Ask her that friend really did die without regrets. Regret only that you will lose your friend. If the Jew cuts deeply enough, I'll pay for it immediately, with all my heart. Antonio, I'm married to a woman who is as dear to me as life itself, but I don't value my life. I don't value life, my wife, and even all the world more than I do your life. I would give them all, yes, sacrifice them all, here and now, to this devil to save you. Your wife wouldn't thank you much for that, were she here to hear you make that offer. Oh my gosh. I love the suggestion that Rita says that and Bianca breaks character and she's like, I'm sorry, Rita, I wouldn't sacrifice you. Like, Yuri relationship, like Rita was her wife. The implications of this scene is just so obvious for that. Sorry, my tongue slipped. It's fine, we can laugh now. We just have to train a bit more later. Having said that, this paragraph is just a witty remark on the story, so everyone can play it as they interpret it. Shall we continue? Alright. Your wife wouldn't thank you much for that, were she here to hear you make that offer. No, Doctor, this was just a metaphor. I'm not saying I would really use my family. Yes, I also have a wife whom I swear I love. But in this situation I can't help but come up with some strange ideas. I wish she were in heaven so she could plead with some higher power to change this currish Jew's mind. It's a good thing you're offering that behind her back, otherwise you'd have unsettled the household for several days. Look, this is the good husband of your so-called civilized people. I have a daughter, and I would rather have her marry the son of a pirate than a beast like you. We're wasting time. The sentence, please. Very well. A pound of that merchant's flesh is yours. The court awards it. The law allows it. Most rightful judge, and since you did not accept any of the compromises proposed by the defendant, you must cut this flesh from his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it. I mean, she did when she was a kid, and I feel like she shows a lot of influence from Ziggy. Even if she doesn't remember it, her character shows a lot of Ziggy's personality traits. But we've seen some of her childhood, and she hasn't really changed that much. Most learned judge, a good sentence. One moment. Is there something else, Your Honor? There is. This contract doesn't allow you a drop of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. So you can take the meat, but if, in cutting it, you shed one drop of his blood, under the laws of Venice, your lands and goods are subject to confiscation to the state of Venice. What? Oh, upright judge, did you hear that, vampire? The truly learned judge. Is that the law? You can see the act for yourself. As you urge justice so strongly, be assured that you will have more justice than you want. Oh, noble judge, most learned judged, a good sentence. Taunting him. Well then, I'll accept the late payment. Just pay back 3 times the amount in the contract. Here's the money. Not so fast, friend of the defendant. I have already pronounced the sentence. Since the plaintiff could not accept any of the compromises proposed by the defendant, he had to cut off the meat from the merchant's chest. He can no longer accept any alternative. Contract is void. Ah, there is no one who is fairer than you, O judge. True. I mean, as far as we know, Bianca as a kid either didn't find any sort of magazines or books of Siegfried's, or she was maybe a little harder working as a kid, whereas Ziggy kind of neglected Kiana, so she strayed a bit, because I know we've heard stories that she's seen some magazines of Ziggy's. And she jokes about them a lot in the early story. And so, Mr. Shylock, please cut the meat now. Shed no blood, and take care to cut off no more and no less than just a pound of flesh. If the scale turns as much as the weight of a hair, you die, and all your property is confiscated. A Daniel come to deliver justice. The wisdom of this young man is simplicity rare in this world, and I agree with his every word. Why are you hesitating? Take your forfeit. Give me my capital back, and let's pretend this never happened. I have it ready. Here it is. Friend of the defendant, as I said earlier, he can no longer accept any alternatives. Wouldn't getting my capital back suffice? You'll have nothing but the penalty to be taken at your peril, Shylock. The law has already been sentenced the defendant for breaching the contract, and you can't change that fact. Well then, may the devil give him the benefit of it. I won't stay and argue this any longer. Wait, Jew, the law has another hold over you. It is stated in Venetian law that if it should be proved against any foreigner that he has, by direct or indirect efforts, sought the life of any citizen, the person against which he has conspired is entitled to seize 1/2 of his goods, the other half going to the state's coffers. Furthermore, whether the offender lives or dies becomes subject of the Duke's sole discretion. Kneel, therefore, and beg the Duke for mercy. It might not be too late. Shylock, let me show you the spirit of our civilized people. I already forgave your death sentence before you even asked for it. Regarding half your wealth, it goes to Antonio. The other half goes to the state. Showing remorse could convert this to a fine. No! I don't need for your forgiveness. Just take my life as well. When you take my house, you take the means of maintaining it. You take my life when you take away the means whereby I live. What mercy can you give him, Antonio? If it pleases my lord the Duke and the court to not confiscate one half his wealth, then I promise. The other half I took over will be transferred to his daughter and the gentleman who eloped with her recently. I only have one other condition, that he makes a will here and now in court, leaving everything he owns at the time of his death to his son-in-law, Lorenzo, and his daughter. You will do this, or I'll withdraw the pardon that I've just pronounced. Are you satisfied, Shylock? What do you say? I'm content. Then, clerk, please draw up a will. Would you give me permission to leave the court? I'm not well. He wants to run. Send the will after me and I'll sign it. Go ahead. I don't think you have the guts to change your mind. Antonio, reward this gentleman because, in my opinion, you're seriously indebted to him. Yes, my lord. Phew, I can finally take a break. Although it may be rude to say this, but the curtain hasn't fallen yet. Ah, is the part after this when Bassanio gives his wedding ring to the doctor? Yes, Durandal. Ah, no, Miss Bianca. It's alright, I don't mind it. No, director. Isn't there a famous line in one of your other scripts? A name isn't a hand, a foot, an arm, a face, or anything like that. What does a name mean? The flower we call a rose would smell just as sweet if we called it by any other name. That quote has been put in Honkai like 10 times. Having said that, didn't you say the Holy Sword has been recast? Did it protest that you stole its name? Well, no. After all, in the words of the Holy Sword itself. Hey! No, you should continue to use that name. I don't know if people can get used to it once I get back, but I really enjoy being able to claim to be your ancestor, you know? It would have been a lot more lively if it could have come back here. That's true. Captain, we will definitely find a way to connect the inversion baseline of this bubble universe to the imaginary tree and completely solve its stability problem. When the day that the Holy Sword can unload its burden, I will definitely take it back here to have a look. Then is that a promise? It's a promise. I promise. Alright everyone, we still have 1/5 left to surprise the world on broadcast. Come on. Well, more of the play. This has been going longer than I expected. I know I was told these were long, but jeez. Hey, excuse me. My dear sir, my friend and I have escaped from serious penalties today as a result of your wisdom. I have the honor of offering you the 3,000 ducats. They were due to the Jew, but you can have it as payment for the trouble you've taken. You too, you must not. All I wanted was the law to not be used in a twisted way. In rescuing you, I've achieved satisfaction, so I regard myself as having been well paid. I've never been interested in money. Please, remember me when we meet again. Good luck. And so, goodbye. Wait, sir. Dear sir, I really must insist. Take a souvenir as something to remember us by, not as a fee. Grant me 2 things, I beg of you, not to say no to me, and to pardon my insistence. You are very insistent, and therefore I will concede. Mr. Antonio, let me have your gloves. I'll wear them to remember you. And Mr. Bassanio, as a token of your goodwill, I'll take this ring. But, no, don't pull your hand away. I won't take anything else. Surely you won't refuse. But this ring is, Oh no, it's worthless. I wouldn't shame myself by giving it to you. What's so embarrassing about it? If you want to say that, it really makes me want it now. I won't have anything but this ring. The ring itself is worthless, but it has sentimental value for me, and I can't give it to others. Doctor, I'll advertise for the most expensive ring in Venice and give it to you, but as for this ring, I beg you to pardon me. I see, sir, that you are very free with your offers. You were the one who taught me how to beg, and now it seems you're teaching me how a beggar should be treated. Good sir, my wife gave me this ring, and when she put it on my finger, she made me promise I would never sell it or give it away or lose it. It's an excuse many men use to avoid giving gifts. Unless your wife is mad, knowing how well I deserve this ring, she wouldn't hold it against you forever that you gave it to me. Even if I take it away now, it would not result in the breakdown of your marriage. Well, goodbye and good luck. Please wait. Let her have the ring, my lord Bassanio. Balance his worthiness and my love with your wife's instruction. Juan Graciano, catch up with him, give him the ring, and bring him to Antonio's house if you can. Yes, I will chase them now. Come, Antonio, we'll go to your house to celebrate, and we'll both set off for Belmont early tomorrow. Nerissa, ask the way to Shylock's house, give him this will, and make sure he signs it. We'll leave tonight and be home a day before our husband. Lorenzo will be very pleased with this document. Hi? Do you mean yes? Yes. Oh, hi, dear sir. I'm glad I've caught you. Okay, no, this is the guy delivering the ring. My lord Bassanio has, on second thoughts, sent you this ring and requests your company at dinner. I don't need to eat, but I will take this ring, thank him for his kindness for me. And one last thing, please show my youth the way to the old Shylock's house. No problem. Sir, I'd like a word. I'll see if I can get my husband's ring, the one I made him swear to keep forever. That will be easy. We'll get the old story that they gave the rings to men, but we'll be able to contradict them beautifully. But we must not only win, we must make them value their vows even more than before. Off you go, hurry up, you'll know where I'll be waiting. Come, sir, will you show me to this house? Please follow me, clerk. Oh, Shakespeare is now a wife? It's really interesting to have real couples perform this kind of drama. Oh, real couples? Does that mean Jimmy and Alice actually hooked up? That's kinda cute. I sympathize with Jimmy a little too much. He's too nervous no matter how I look at it. And what about you? Me? Why would I... Hey, what are you trying to imply, director of the Gossip Theater? It's not an implication. It's just truth, Bianca. We all know. Don't worry. Did something happen, Bianca? Nothing. Okay, I was just joking. Those who need to change clothes, hurry up. Let's finish the last act in one try. Oh, there's someone I didn't expect to see in here. Yes, director of the theater. What a beautiful starry sky, on such a night as this, when the sweet wind kissed the trees so gently that they didn't make a sound. It was such a night, I imagine. Hush! Listen, there are footsteps. Who's that running around here in the silence of night? She's okay! That put a smile on my face. As much as a bunch of people died, that is someone I'm glad survived. A friend. Friend? Neither Lorenzo nor I know you. My name is Stefano, and I have come to tell you that my mistress will be here at Belmont before dawn, and with her she brings good news. What good news? I don't know. The mistress just wanted me to inform you in advance that there will be good news. Oh my gosh. Interesting role for them. Get out of the way. I bring news. What? Shouldn't you be taking care of my dad at home? Why have you come to deliver a message? Ah, Jessica. This time I am helping the Master's enemy deliver the message. He will be here tomorrow and he will bring good news. What good news? I don't know. What is going on, everyone being so secretive? But let's all get inside, since the mistress of this house is coming back. We will have to prepare. Oh. Huh? Why are there lights in our house? And what is this wonderful music blowing in the wind? Could it be our husbands came back before us? Don't panic, Nursa. You know how good their relationship with Antonio is. They must have been eating and drinking in the city last night. That's the mistress's voice, if I'm not mistaken. He knows me just as the blind man knows the cuckoo, by its terrible voice. Dear lady, welcome home. We've been praying for our husband's welfare. We hope they'll be back all the sooner because of those prayers. Are they back? Not yet, madame, but there was a messenger who came to announce their imminent arrival, saying they will bring good news. Which they refused to tell me what they were. Well, then they should not be far. Go in, Nerissa. Tell my servants not to say a word about our absence. Nor must you, Lorenzo, nor you, Jessica. And about the good news, we will tell you when the time is right. Interesting. Interesting story, I get it now. I'm not sure if I've actually seen this play. And if I have, I don't remember it. Though the Honkai parts of it are probably confusing me. Don't worry, madame, we're not telltales. And listen, it's Mr. Bassanio's trumpet in the distance. Welcome home, my husband. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Thank you, my wife. Thanks to you, we have returned safely. Let me introduce you formally. This is Antonio, to whom I'm eternally indebted. Good evening, madame. You really are, Bassanio. I heard that because of you, he almost lost his life. It was no more than I was prepared to pay. Please listen to my explanation, Nerissa. By the moon above us, I swear you're wronging me. I promise you. I gave it to the judge's clerk. There really is nothing. After all, he is just the doctor's companion. A quarrel already? What's the matter? Do you remember what you swore when I gave you that ring? When I gave it to you, you promised me that you'd wear it till you died, that you'd take it to the grave with you. If not for my sake, but because of your vehement oaths, you should have been more serious and kept it. And now what? He lies, saying a boy got his ring. A boy? But if it was a girl, the problem would be bigger, right? What? You still dare make excuses? I swear to God that the doctor and his clerk are our benefactors. He really wanted the ring instead of a fee, and I didn't have the heart to refuse him. Excuse me for coming in so bluntly. Nerissa is your wife. How could you so casually give away the first gift your wife gave you? I feel like the characters are mixed up. I'm kind of confused now. In front of her, you should have tried to keep some face. It was placed on your finger with vows and welded to your flesh with trust. It was a part of your body, like your fingers are. I gave my love a ring and made him promise never to part with it. Oh no. I would bet he would never lose it, nor take it off his finger for all the world's wealth. Gratiana, you've given your wife too unkind a cause for grief. You should find a way to apologize to her quickly. I really should have cut off my left hand when coming home. That way I could swear that I lost the ring while defending it from a robber. But Mr. Bassiano also gave his ring to the doctor. They helped us win the lawsuit, but they wouldn't take any money, only... What? What ring did you give him, my love? Not the one I gave you, right? This is the perfect role for Rita. This is such a Rita role. If I could make you happy by lying, I would, but you can see the ring is not on my hand, and nothing I say will make you happy. Oh my God, what good is it to be honest now? There's no trace of that in your hypocritical heart. By heaven, I won't come anywhere near your bed until I see that ring in your hand again. Sweet Portia, if you knew who I gave the ring to, it's not a question of who you gave it to. If you had realized the significance of the ring, or half the worth she who gave you the ring, you wouldn't have parted with the ring. What man could be so unreasonable, so insensitive, as to insist on taking a ring from someone else's hand? Is he a fool, not having realized the sentimental value of it? I agree with Nerissa. I bet my life that some woman has the ring. No, I swear in my honor, madame. In my soul, I really gave it to the doctor who helped us in court. He refused to take 3,000 ducats and demanded the ring, which I refused him, and let him leave displeased. The man who had saved the life of my dear friend. What can I say, sweet lady? I was forced to send it after him. I was filled with shame and a sense of obligation. I couldn't besmirch my honor with such ingratitude. Pardon me, good lady, but if you had been there, I think you would have begged me for the ring to give it to the worthy doctor. Almost like she did. Don't let that doctor come anywhere near my house. But since he's got the jewel that I loved, and which you swore to keep for my sake, I'll be as generous as you. I won't deny him any of my possession. No, not even my body, nor my husband's bed. Madame, please calm down. I'm the unhappy subject of these quarrels. Sir, don't be troubled. We all like you, and you are welcome nevertheless. Portia, forgive me for offending you. Here, with all these friends as witness, I swear to you, even by your lovely eyes, in which I see myself. What are you talking about? There is you in my left eye, and there is you in my right. Are you going to swear by your hypocritical self? No, just listen. Forgive this fault, and I swear by my soul that I'll never break a promise to you. My good lady, I staked my body for his happiness. Now I offer to be bound again with my soul as the forfeit. With my soul as the forfeit, your husband will never again knowingly break faith with you. Good sir, there is no need for contracts. Instead, you'll be his guarantor. Give this to my husband and tell him to look after it better than the other. Is he gonna realize it? Here, Lord Bassanio, swear to keep this ring for... By heaven, it's the one I gave the doctor. I got it from him. Forgive me, Bassanio. The doctor slept with me in return for this ring. Is this a test of faith? And forgive me, my gentle Graciano, because that same scrubbed boy, the doctor's clerk, slept with me for this ring as well. What the hell? That's... Seems like the shock was a little too much. I don't think we should continue to tease you. Here's a letter. Read it at your leisure. It comes from Padua, from Bellario. In it you will discover that Portia was the doctor, and Nerissa there, her clerk. Lorenzo here will tell you that I set out immediately after you, and have just returned. I haven't even been inside yet. Antonio, you are welcome, and I have even better news for you than you expect. Open this letter soon. You'll find out 3 of your ships return to the harbor richly laden. You must never have expected this letter to come from me. I'm speechless. So, were you the doctor and I couldn't tell? Most men have no experience with cross-dressing, so it's normal for you to have not realized. Let us leave all the questions behind, sweet doctor. You will be my bed partner tonight. And when I'm away, you can sleep with my wife. Or something like that. Alas, Bassiano, you suddenly learned to sweet talk. I think if you ever became a judge, you would be more talkative than the doctor. By the way, Lorenzo, what's the matter, madame? This good news is for you. Here is a document signed by your rich father-in-law. Not only will he now give you half of his wealth for you and Jessica. Oh my god, she set everything up! I want to know if this is actually like a Shakespearean play or something and read the original, but this is so good. It fits the characters so well. But after his death, all his inheritance will go to you. It's incredible, madame. You are an angel who spreads happiness. It's almost morning, but I'm sure there's more that you want to know about these events. Let's go in. You can interrogate us there, and we'll tell you everything you want to know. There's only 2 hours until daylight. It's better to go to sleep and wait until the afternoon to celebrate our entire adventure together. Is that all right, my sweet doctor? It's so perfect. I love it. I didn't expect that the last scene would be the most tiring part. Is that so? I thought Miss Bianca would definitely enjoy it. What would make me happy in that scene? You don't know. Sweet doctor, you will be my bed partner tonight. And when I'm away, you can sleep with my wife. Oh my gosh. Hey! Oh my god, is that the end? There's... I don't know what this says. Dang it. Let me see. I'm pretty sure if I hit translate this page, it'll open another tab. Oh, it's not gonna show. Dang it. I don't think I can actually... you know what? I can inspect it. I want to see what this says, if that's actually just end. Something in this div. Unless that's an image, but I don't know. It looks like that might just be an image. Let me get my phone to translate it. That's really how it didn't say last chapter that time. So I thought there was still more. Come on, phone. You can do it. Yeah, it's the end of this issue. The story of Bianca will come to an end. This story of Bianca will come to an end. One day in the future, we may also cross... I don't know. It says something about crossing. I guess it's a cross like the Sea of Quanta and save this world. Stay tuned. I wasn't expecting it to end there. Oh, it's 31! I heard it was 32 chapters. That would be my mistake. The fan service at the end. God damn. Oh, it was such a good story. And it just shows everything. I'm curious about that last part, about the play. Because they said that it was farewell and that the cracks in the universe would be separated. So how then did they connect to it? Because we know Rita didn't go with her in 25EX, so it didn't happen during 25EX. They had to have somehow visited back another time. Maybe they found a way. I mean, I don't doubt that Bianca could visit, because literally it's a universe within her. She could probably visit in her mind. Yeah, it's a yay for sure. I liked it. It was really, really well done. Such a good... so much more happened than I thought would happen. But I still say the one scene... the biggest scene... oh, I can't preview this one because it's, whatever, it's only one. You can't preview single parts for some reason. Plot hole, fan service, those are a few possibilities, but I mean... who knows, right? The genius device, as far as we know, was supposed to be a way to take you back somewhere. So who knows, maybe because they've been in that world before, they could somehow use the genius device to visit? I don't know. But either way, I enjoyed the story and the little bit of fan service at the end, even if it was a little shorter than I thought today. Still 3 hours, but yeah. it still blows my mind just how similar Bianca and Kiana are. They're so alike, and I mean, it makes sense, right? Stuff like that has kind of been shown, proven in life, accidentally. That, you know, if identical twins get separated at birth, they will usually lead very similar lives. They will be very similar people. Unique, of course, right? They're not going to be exactly the same. But they're going to have similar tendencies. Just because that's who they are. Genetically, they're going to lean towards the same things. But their own way of doing it. It's interesting to show it with the two of them. God, whenever we get to chapter 25 in my replay, watching that cinematic a second time, I'm gonna cry my eyes out. Well, I guess third time. I've seen it twice. I watched it once when it first came out in CN, and then I watched it when I did the chapter. Yeah, they'll be shaped by their experiences. As similar as they are, they're also going to be different. And it's kind of what's been shown, right? The two of them have both become heroes in their own right. They're both amazing people. Very different people. One had to carry the weight of a world and fought hard, not letting themselves relax, and the other one tried to live their life to the fullest, suffered, and got a lot of life lessons out of it, and became a stronger person that way. Lots of different ways to become a better person. Such a good story. I hope everyone else enjoyed it as much as I did. Because, God, this was a treat. Who are the ones in here? Oh, it just didn't load yet. Her flying. I still find that interesting that they showed this here. And it does show like an effect under her. So I don't know if it's something she always could do, or if she gained this ability to like fly because of the Durandal. If the Durandal kind of literally just became a part of her and gave her new abilities. And it makes you wonder, where did the Durandal come from? We know it was apparently like a previous era weapon, but what did they make it out of? How? It almost feels like the counterpart to... like the counterpart to the Honkai. Like it's similar in strength to the Honkai, but it's not Honkai, if that makes sense. That it's something else. And it just makes me wonder the previous era stuff of Elysian Realm and what could have possibly led to all this. I don't know. It was a treat. I loved it. As I said before, this is probably going to be my last stream on YouTube for a while. It is honestly so... Maybe Vilvi made it as a counter to VA? Maybe. Could be. How much of Elysian Realm have you done, Arsham? I don't want to spoil you, but how far have you gotten? Full? You've done the whole thing? Well, we don't know that it's from a different world. We don't know where it's from. We don't know where this sword is from. All we know is that Schrödinger found it in the Sea of Quanta. But as far as we know so far, the most successful world fighting against the Honkai has been ours, has been the main story. But as far as we know, it was created in a lab out of Solium alongside other weapons, but that it didn't care for the people that made it. As far as we know, it was a weapon against the Honkai. And the way they described it when they talked about Durandal being made, it sounded very previous era, like something they would do. But you're saying, Arsham, just to make sure you finished the story to the end of chapter 3 of Elysian Realm? Well, our world also bit the dust at least once. Well, that depends how you look at it, right? Yeah, you met Ego? Okay. Because the other thing I've been wondering is, we don't really know what happened to all of the Flame Chasers, or just everything in that era, and we don't know exactly who made Durandal and what made Durandal so special, so it makes me wonder if it could have been something either made by Alicia or, I don't know, who knows, made of Alicia? Though then maybe Alicia's still there. Could you imagine if that was the 13th Divine Key? Who knows? We don't have too much info about it, other than it was just made, it was bored with people, and so it went to sleep. And it waited to wake up until someone drew it. I think it said the first time it was drawn, it was just by a bunch of tribal people, and it was terrified, so it went back to sleep and made the condition that it was woken up by a cute girl. And that's where it was found and given the name Durandal. It's a famous weapon. And then ended up in this bubble universe. Who knows? I'm curious about it. But especially with Bianca getting stronger, the Durandal technically is with Rita right now in the story. The Durandal in the bubble universe is within Rita. Two flame chasers unaccounted for that isn't dead, presumed dead, or stayed in PE without entering the pods. There's a very good possibility. I still need to read through the rest of the Remembrance Vessels. We're doing that tomorrow. But as far as we know, what's his name? Cosma was supposed to go to space. He was supposed to be part of Project Ark. But Griseo didn't want him to go because he'd be lonely, and he doesn't like being alone, according to her. So it's very likely that the two arcs are Griseo and Cosma. That's my guess. Because we know Project Ark was specifically 2 arcs. So I would assume it was those 2. But a lot of them we just don't know. Vilvi could be alive. Who knows? I don't know about the Elysian Realm, but for all we know, Vilvi could be completely a machine now, or something like that. Well, we don't know about that, about Ellie. We don't know much about Alicia for sure. We don't know what Alicia did, we don't know what everyone else did for Alicia, what happened with Alicia. It's assumed that she was defeated, and then maybe the core was put in the Elysian Realm or something. That's my best guess for the worst case scenario. But we don't know that. Maybe the Elysian Realm became a prison for the living Hersher. Maybe the psychic was able to try and appeal to Alicia and help strengthen her consciousness, keep her in control. No clue. But we'll see. Yeah, as far as we know, they didn't enter the pods. But we don't know what happened to them after that either. So, who knows? There's just too many holes, and I'm hoping next patch we get some more answers, just figure out more about them. The thing I hate is I feel like we're gonna slowly start learning more, and then they're gonna move away from the previous era, and there's gonna be questions that aren't gonna be answered for a while. I don't know if I'd say Eden is sus. I feel bad for Eden. Eden was so dedicated to saving the future, to saving people. But watching whatever happened with Ellie broke her. That's all we know, is that whatever happened with Ellie broke her. And she was so upset that she decided not to go along with Project Ember. And then the sim, I know we saw when the sim Eden heard that she didn't go along with Project Ember, she was in disbelief of herself. I don't know, everything I saw with her just seemed to me that she was very supportive of Alicia and that she was losing hope. But I don't know. Never know, right? Could be anything. The only thing I'm really confused about Eden, and I've said it before, she looks identical to Himiko. She looks damn near identical to Himiko, and that makes no sense to me. I don't understand why she looks like Himiko when we know Himiko existed in the previous era already. The same age, basically, too. She was the captain for that brought in Fuhua. So why is there someone else that looks identical to her? Were they siblings? Or is there something else weird in the memories? Because we have to remember, this is just a database of memories, right? And memories aren't perfect. So, what happened? It's interesting to think about. But, yeah. I'm worried what's gonna happen in the future of the story with Bianca, though. Bianca meeting with that group. I feel like what's going on with May right now is going to make May support World Serpent more. That she's probably going to agree with their plans and think it's the only solution. And Bianca especially, but once Bianca tells Kiana, Bianca and Kiana are gonna go for Kevin. They want their dad. And I feel like May is gonna get between them. There was one scene in one of the trailers that never shows up in any part of the story. And it was May and Bianca facing each other down. And I kind of wonder if that's coming. If that was like a teaser for things to come in the future. We'll see, I guess. Worried. But yeah, I'm probably going to continue reading things on Fridays, but starting next week, it's going to be on Twitch. So, I'll be... Yeah, it's almost... No, like, it was said in the story that it was the real Aponia. The real Aponia crossed herself with the Elysian realm. There is no other Aponia. The Elysia that we met in the realm, as far as we understand, was not a sim, because Elysia was immune to psychics. So they could not back her up. The Elysia in the realm is Aponia's memory of Elysia. It's everything that Elysia remembered and loved about Elysia. Or Aponia loved. Whatever. Probably both true. But yeah. We'll see. We'll find out more. I'm worried about it. Thinking of all this World Serpent stuff. Next week, Friday, we'll be reading on Twitch. Probably World Serpent. I believe that is the manga I've been recommended to read before continuing the story. Before doing the chapters of the game that have World Serpent in them. 13, 14, 15, whatever. To read that manga. So we're going to read that manga next Friday. And then probably the week after we're going to continue with my playthrough again. And then every Friday I'm going to try and continue with the manga reading. Whenever we finish all the Honkai stuff, I'll probably try finding other things to read. And I'll just continue those Friday reading. Maybe if I feel like it. I really want to read it, but I'd rather read it on stream. Maybe eventually I'll read the Genshin manga. I still haven't done that. Maybe eventually I can read some other series, some other stories. See what I can find. I really enjoy these reading streams. Maybe even find a decent visual novel, you know, one that isn't just raunchy. I like ones like this that just genuinely have a good story. And who knows, maybe some branching storylines, we can see what happens. And no, I'm not doing... What was it again? Doki Doki Literature Club? I've seen that story once, I don't need to see it again. But I don't know, I'll find something to read once we get through all of Honkai. But, as usual, I was about to try typing commands in chat. Doesn't work here. Down below, we have links to my Twitter and Discord. It's where I announce all my streams, chat, hang out with everyone. I'd love to see more people there. Well, as far as we know, Neko, just to break the ending, but as far as we know, for Kevin's plan for Project Stigma, he requires living cores. So, as far as we know, the Hersher of the Void is barely alive, right? Or was barely alive. Kiana isn't the Hersher of the Void. Siren is the Hersher of the Void. It was just, like, parasitizing Kiana. So, Kevin probably felt that it would be a bad idea to kill her and risk losing a living core. Because for some reason, that's a requirement. He needs to disable and capture the Hershers. He doesn't want to outright kill them. So, we'll see. But, I don't know. Other than the Twitter and Discord, also have Twitch link below. Again, this is probably my last YouTube stream for a while. We'll see if YouTube improves streaming on their platform, and if Twitch butchers it, because they seem to have some interesting plans coming. But for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch, and only Twitch. And I will be doing my best to highlight and clip things and throw them on this channel, and maybe occasionally record myself to make some unique videos. Those take a little more time though, so we'll see what happens. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one.